What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And thank you especially for having some patience with us, obviously celebrating Mr. MCF's birthday these last few days. We literally landed about an hour and a half before this stream just went live.
I was telling them we were unpacking, we were trying to get some
we
food
came
in
home,
us.
Mr. MCF set up the stream while we're rushing behind the scenes to try to just get resettled very quickly.
Kind of like our Cowboys teamwork against the Seattle Seahawks. We got a bigger fish to fry, or I say a bird to fry.
Well, we have a lot to talk about as well. Yeah, we roasted some birds, I think, last week. We got to roast some birds again this weekend, guys. Thanksgiving doesn't stop.
Yeah.
With that said, of course.
You can see Thanksgiving right there. You see the bird?
Yes.
Thanksgiving style. Guys, 2 birds getting their heads chopped.
Decisions have been made, and even I can't necessarily call this, the clownery. At least on our side, but we'll get to that.
We'll discuss it and get your opinions on what went down with Mr. Leonard here tonight, Mr. Eagle now.
Shout out to everyone here, of course. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. Of course, we have to shout out the people making MCF happen, and since we obviously haven't gone live the last 2-3 days or so, the names remain the same. Yeah, if you know, you know.
It's going to be a 2-week thing, guys. We just couldn't do it this week. We have another 2-week, Cash App King crowned. We'll see what happens because it continues. We get the sponsor of the week, the memberships, all that stuff. It continues this full week leading up to the big game. And there's also a raffle for this big game by the Lunatics. We'll talk about it all here. In fact, let's start off maybe with who's making things run this show right now. Even we've been out of commission for a couple of days. Who's running things on the board, baby?
Huge shout out to the man repping it as the sponsor of the week and Cash App King, SnugX.
Snug.
Shout out to you. We know why you're here.
You know.
And of course, Mary Alvarez, not just the stream boss with 44 points, she's also the membership queen.
Yes, the gifting queen. Much love to Mary, who's on the board this week. And I don't know how.
I guess a little birthday present from Mr. Jason Renfro, because somehow, once again,
in the house.
It happens like every other month, but my Cowboys family, congrats to you, my love. You won your own membership.
Hey, just on my birthday. Everyone's asking how old I am.
I'll put a little candle on it.
I'm old enough. Thank you, Jason, for the gifted membership. More importantly, though, I think we got some leaders here in the house, and Jason's one of them who's trying to run the show here. He's got 8 gifted memberships, and he's in the lead. You talked about Mary running the show there. We got a lot of people on that membership gifting board, but in first place it is still Jason Renfro. He's added another one to that. So much love to Jason Renfro. When you look at the Cash App King, first I want to say we had a great drop from Jason Renfro. $1.47 holler, I think it was.
I believe so.
Yeah, $1.47 holler from Jason Renfro over the last couple of days. Appreciate him there. Also, we had Skeptical Fan drop a $2 thanks on one of our videos, so that's also very appreciated. We also had some memberships that dropped in, like Jason Renfro in the star level, A. Lavelle in the silver, Gerald Swaim in the navy blue crew, of course the wife, and also Skeptical Fan in the star level, Andy Post in the star level, Kevin Richards in the navy blue crew, and don't forget about Mary Alvarez back in that star level membership. Everyone's been shouted out on those fronts, but who's the leader in the Cash App? I think we all know his name, baby. Mr. Stanley Smith, who had it last week.
You.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens. Does he hold it down? He stopped SnugX's big streak. He took it. SnugX has a new streak going 2 weeks in a row. We'll see what happens. He's the leader there. He was the leader on the overall board, but because of Jason Renfro's membership, he just snuck right over him by a little bit. Now Jason added a little more distance on the overall board. So this week, Mary Alvarez, of course, 44 points, Robert Newhouse style on the stream boss. The leader, Mary's running the show there in the gifted memberships. The leader is Jason Renfro with 8 now. I'll update that in a minute. And you can see it right there above there. The overall leaderboard is Jason Renfro. The overall Cash App leader is Stanley Smith. A lot of people repping it here. Appreciate everybody. Baby, how's all the ways they can drop the love? We got the thanks button, super chats. You just seen those. Gifted membership. You just seen that.
Of course, you have the Cash App, Money Side My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and Streamlabs, of course, lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the only thing, because a little birdie, tweet, told me that we have an extra special raffle going on right now.
But first, the nightly shout-outs for those in the star level membership. I can't say over everything right now because, Seabass, he dropped off for now on the over everything top shelf membership, but we do have other people that are repping it here when it comes to, the star level. So on the nightly, guys, we know we do. We do the shout outs on the nightly for anybody in the star level membership area or that over everything when we get someone in there. So baby, who are the people repping it here? Wait, who's repping it now with that $2 holler?
That was Mr. Zach Luna with the $2 holler saying, "Cry, Eagles, cry.
Fuck Philly.
On the road to misery."
Yeah,
Thank you, SF. Yes. San Francisco did one thing finally. Right. And it was lay the absolute smackdown on Philly. It's kind of funny because obviously we'll talk a lot more about kind of our thoughts and feelings, particularly about this game, this matchup with us and Philly. But I have
a little preview.
But just to kind of preview it now as you kind of finish fixing up the board, at least on my side, the way that San Francisco beat Philly is very reminiscent to the way that they unfortunately beat us. And if you go back to the unfortunate loss that we took to Philly, again, it wasn't like a blowout, it wasn't anything. It was a game of inches, unfortunately, and it was a close game.
It was no blowout, but the Niners...
What I'm trying to say is that we are obviously...
The Niners blew out two teams on the top.
So... You got to give them their props, but we'll see in the playoffs.
But trust me, the Niners and the Eagles obviously both beatable, but so are we. So it's gonna be a battle. We're gonna see what happens. Yeah. But yes,
what I'm trying to say is that I think us and the Eagles are much closer than people think. As far as
I'm gonna be
the
real.
Haters,
I think we're better than the. I know we're better than the Eagles. Now we're gonna show it this weekend.
So of course, let me go ahead and shout out those star level members again. Thank you, Zach Luna. Shout out to Jason Renfro, by the way, at the $1.54 holler. And by the way,
that went through too.
Guess who's in the membership? Or the star level membership.
There you go. Yeah,
Mr. Jason Renfro.
There it is. Go Cowboys, and much love to Jason Renfro. Actually, shout everybody out when it comes to this star level board.
Like Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro once again, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, and The Lunatic.
Yes, much love to everybody. By the way, The Lunatic has a 4-prize raffle. And it's continuing this week. We started it last week. We're collecting all the numbers, got all the totals. We're stacking your memberships. Stacking your raffles for this huge raffle, stacking your entries for this huge raffle coming around the corner here. Halftime of this Philly game right around the corner.
Gotta bring the right energy, right? And of course, guys, you drop $10, bam, you're in it. The $10 stack, so you can unlimited entries, of course. If you're in the membership, you get a bonus additional entry. Yes. And there's 4 awesome prizes. Although, first come, first serve type of thing. So if you like the 4th place prize, go for it, right?
If you get first and you want the 4th, you can grab that prize. Baby, shout it out. What is the Lunatic offering up to the family here tonight? Or for this big raffle?
Hey, you got to ride around in cowboy style, right? 4th place is this awesome car package with all sorts of awesome gear, decals, stickers, the license plate frame. Lanyard, all that to make sure, like I said, you're riding in style, right? 3rd place... You want to rep your team in style, right? Any name, any number on a customizable shirt. Ooh. And, of course, I love that embroidered signature by Micah Parsons on that cap.
One of a kind.
Heck yeah.
How about 2 of a kind? Because we got ourselves 2 different first place prizes, but the same thing for first and second place.
Your choice, guys. As long as it's available, any name, any number, any style, bam. We got you. Your own jersey.
Yeah, so... First place gets a jersey sewn and stitched. Second place gets a jersey sewn and stitched. 3rd place, of course, the package gear of Cowboy representation with the shirt.
I know. Customized. Every time I see that Micah hat, I'm like, damn it, I want it.
And you get that customized shirt. You could put your last name. You could put Micah's name, put 11 on there if you want. You could put Parsons 11. Either way, it's almost like a T-shirt jersey. Yeah. Either way, it's fantastic. The Lunatic. This is one of my favorite prizes here, outside of the sewn and stitched jersey. And of course, 4th place, far from shabby.
I was going to say that package. Even the car stuff, because I know I have, obviously my car still has the old school cowboy decal, and I know I still get, some shit talked over it, which I appreciate that, though. I like that.
Yeah, she's representing it. Exactly. You represent it wherever you go. You represent that star in your car. Now, that's the 4 prizes, $10, unlimited entries if you want. Every 10, you get another one. Membership, if you're in a membership, any level, you get a bonus entry. Adds your chances to win one of these 4 great prizes. If you get first, you get the first place prize. You can choose whichever one of these 4 you want, all the way down, and we'll get to the 4th. And we will do this at halftime, December 10th, against those filthy Philadelphia motherfucking Eagles.
Now let me go
let's
ahead.
do the shout-outs tonight.
Do the shout-outs.
Who's in the house? We haven't seen you guys in a couple of days. We miss you all. We're excited to talk some Cowboy football. Who's in the house, baby?
So first of all, huge shout-out to Jason Renfro. So glad you finally got the jerseys in your hand. Hip, hip, hooray. Actually, Scorpio. Wait, was it Scorpio? I can't remember.
You're the one handling that.
I know. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I believe it was Scorpios.
They all should have been shipped out already, right? Everything's shipped out. We just have a couple waiting for the newest winners still on the way to us.
I know those are almost here, and those will definitely get to you guys before the holidays.
I think Skeptical is one of those winners.
Yes.
It should get there before... it should get to you guys right at almost Christmas time, like the December 23rd or 22nd, who knows. We're trying our best. It's out of our hands. When we get it, we send it to your hands.
Yeah, and if need, we will make sure we rush that shipping. Like I said, we got to get that in your hand before the holiday season. But you know what I want in my stocking? A Cowboy Super Bowl.
That's what I want.
Shout out to Scorpio. Perfect. Yes, you got it in the mail. Yeah. I thought it was you, Scorpio, but I know Amazing because Amazing Games is the one coming with Skepticals.
Right, Skeptical,
that's how I was like, wait
Amazing
a minute.
Games on the way.
Yeah, so anyway, Jason Renfro, of course, Skeptical fan always. Staying skeptical. Justin D in the place to be. Saying, people have been facing reality that Philly's been getting lucky. We've been talking
about that for weeks here, but hey, they made their own luck.
He said
they ran out of luck.
2 beatdowns in a week should set them straight.
Damn right.
Dallas Cowboy 92 said, dilly, fuck Philly.
It should have, but really, you look at the Kansas City game a couple weeks ago, Buffalo last time. The Eagles could have lost 3 in a row before playing us if things that went right. They won 2 out of those 3, which unfortunately hurts us in the end. But in the end, we got to make our own luck and we got to earn this thing ourselves. By the way, welcome to the family. Thor. What's up, Thor? And welcome to the family here in MCF.
Cactus G in the place to be. What's up? Much love. We have Frank Moyer representing. Hey, this week, I want to see a lot of Frank Moyer this week, A-Town Frank. We've got a lot to talk about, right? He's saying, hey, Dallas Goedert's expected to come back this week. We're going to touch on that,
I hope you guys are 1,000% healthy so we can wipe the floor with your eagle feathers.
No excuses. Rolando Rodriguez, much love to you, of course. Griff181, peace. Asmodeus repping it. What's up? Zach Luna, thanks for being here.
And I promise... tomorrow I'll have all the eagle emojis. They'll be filled up and full blast. We always have a couple here. Have a couple.
Yeah, we permanently make sure we keep those on lock. David Lara, what's up? Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. And guys, yes, we're going to very briefly touch on the whole college situation thing. I mean, I promise I'll only spend like a minute on it, but what the heck? Basically, FSU basically have a undefeated season, or they were like, I don't know. They basically had the winning record. Somehow Alabama made it to the top 4 over them, even though Alabama was sucking eggs.
It's about your opponent that you play in college. And listen, I take offense to this because...
it is pure cheating, my love.
The UCF Golden Knights. UCF a couple of years ago when Blake Bortles was the quarterback, UCF had a chance to be in the playoff and they didn't, or whatever, the top fucking, they were never ranked high enough to get into that because of who you play and what conference you're in. That's why, for me, it's about NFL football.
I agree, but it's like the equivalent of winning the NFC Championship game and then being told, by the way, you're not going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Let me keep rolling here. Mike Aldana, much love. Yeah, like I said, that just blew my mind. That's all I'm going to say, because... it's crazy. Anyway, Seabass, what's up? Much love. Let me see. All right, so he says that, they didn't want FSU to get blown out by these other teams. They believed that no one wanted to see that. Well, I guess they want to see Alabama get beat. That makes sense. Rolling back a little bit more, making sure I get these shout-outs back here. David Lara, what's up? Of course, the man Seabass in the house. Double R, hello and hi. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Mike Aldana, much love to you. Mackenzie, 2 times. NDM Boogie, hello. Freedom first. Sorry, you were not first today. Spoony Dog, what's up? Let me come back down. Raul, hello and hi. Aztec Aguilar 4. Bruce got the toxic juice, always. Fuck Philly. James Herr, what's up? Much love. And let me go ahead, hand it off to you, my love. Let's do this. We have a few things to catch up on, obviously. Last time we talked, our Cowboys were literally... wrapping up quite the performance on Thursday night, huh?
And, it is an extra late special showing here at My Cowboys Family. If you're watching this on the replay, you can leave a comment below, but don't forget to hit the like. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Keep growing this thing. We're almost at 28,400. We're moving on up a little bit. So thank you all for dropping the love. Drop your knowledge. And now let's drop some information. Let's drop our knowledge here. First, NFL news. First Monday Night Flex game is coming up ever. The Seattle Seahawks and the Eagles are not going to play a Monday Night Football in Week 15. So this game moves from December 18th. I'm sorry, it moves to December 18th from December 17th. So they got an
instead
extra,
of Sunday, now it's Monday.
They got an extra day. They got an extra day to prepare for Seattle after taking the beat down from us, hopefully, this weekend. And the Patriots-Chiefs game, which was supposed to be the top game there, Monday Night Football, is going to be played at 1 p.m. on December 17th. Now, again, this when you update the schedule, guys, the Cowboys-Buffalo game, Week 15, now becomes a fully nationally televised game. It's pretty much the only one on the docket now because they moved that Eagles-Seattle game. Because they moved that Eagles-Seattle game, it was only them and us. Those are the only two games. Now it's just the Cowboys and Buffalo. So we'll see what happens in Week 15. But we still got Week 14 on the way here. That's the Eagles first. Now, along with that flex, Week 15 is also going to feature 3 NFL Network games on December 16th. We're talking about, I think, Saturday games now, right? Vikings at the Bengals at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Steelers at the Colts, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And the Broncos at the Lions, 8:15 Eastern that evening. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a lot of football being played. Week 15 is going to be 3 Saturday games. All the Sunday games, they flexing around that Monday night game. You got it all up to date here from the Cowboys of the family here, MCF. Now, NFL also issued, going back to the Thanksgiving game. Remember the Washington Commanders? The NFL issued no fines for the Cowboys' Salvation Army kettle hopping, turkey leg eating celebration in that Thanksgiving blowout against Washington. Good. So, no fines for using props. That's interesting. Now, Jason Witten, he's a champion, not just because he's a former Cowboy, because he brings home a state title in his 3rd year as a high school coach.
Look at you, Jason Witten.
Liberty Christian Football Warriors are state champions. They beat Austin, I don't even know, Agents? I don't know. 52-10. That's a blowout. And this team was really bad when Jason Witten took over. So congrats to Jason Witten and his sons who played for that team.
He basically rebuilt that program, so shout out to him.
Yeah, good job there. Maybe he'll become a GM for us here. I don't know.
Let's be real.
He
probably will eventually join the Cowboys staff in some capacity, whatever that means in the future. For right now, he's happy where he's at. Yeah, we're assuming it'll be a future like tight end coaching situation. Anyways, let's get to some serious news here, NFL-wise. I didn't get to say this on game day on Thursday night, but the Buffalo Bills star linebacker Von Miller. Man, I don't even know what's the updates on this newer, but I know last I heard, we knew that he had a warrant out for his arrest for domestic violence, which is major there. His longtime girlfriend accused him of assaulting her in their home in Dallas. He's in Dallas. He lives there. This happened on Wednesday morning, supposedly, the accusation. A warrant has been issued for his arrest at the time. The warrant was for a charge of assaulting a pregnant person, a 3rd-degree felony. Then, we have the affidavit that was obtained by Dallas Morning News, and he allegedly shoved the identified woman, yanked out a chunk of her hair, and left her with minor abrasions and bruising. She also allegedly recorded the entire incident and showed the police. So Von Miller probably not going to be playing football anytime soon, maybe ever again. Also, Dallas police are trying to get Von Miller to turn himself in at the time on Wednesday, of course, or on Thursday. I think he finally did turn himself in. He did, guys. He did turn himself in. I just want to say something else. This domestic violence allegation against Von Miller jeopardizes more than $17 million in guaranteed salary. Guaranteed salary in 2024. Remember, it's voided once you get something like this on your record in the NFL. He has $17 million guaranteed. That is not guaranteed anymore if the Bills decide not, to void it. And they probably will if he is guilty in any way. I don't know about you, but if I have the chance to save $17 million, I think I would take it.
Yeah, this is a void. It's worse than avoidable offense. But he's losing $17 million. He could be losing his career and going to jail.
And look, woman beating, obviously,
there's no excuses there.
The lowest of the low. But there is something especially heinous about the fact that he beat a pregnant woman who it sounds like might be pregnant with his child. Like, that hasn't really been made clear, but you kind of assume since it sounds like it was his girl.
He turned himself in to Glen Heights Police.
Okay.
He was taken to the DeSoto Regional Jail where he posted a $5,000 bond and then was released there. He had an outstanding warrant on these allegations of domestic violence. And yes, this was his former or his current girlfriend that supposedly had his child.
The point is that they were obviously a couple together. This wasn't just like some random pregnant lady that he found on the street and started beating up on. So
crazy situation for Von Miller, and he almost was a Cowboy. Remember that in the offseason, he was
on
talking
one
about
hand,
coming
the
to
NFL
Dallas.
still doesn't take these types of things seriously enough. But on the other hand, I'm glad that situations like this are no longer being swept under the rug.
Yes,
like when charges like these hit, people actually talk about it and call these people assholes.
It should be worse than what he's going to probably get, but at least it's better than it used to be. So it's going the right direction when it comes to punishing people for doing shit like this.
Yeah, we kind of heard that too, Cactus, because then all of a sudden the woman kind of was trying to claim, like, no, it didn't happen, things like that. I'm going to be real with you guys. Yeah. In a lot of domestic violence situations, you do frequently see or hear the victim walking back their statements or reversing things or even siding with their own abuser. So
yeah, again, a lot of these situations,
it sounds like if there was actual video evidence or audio evidence or some kind of other evidence,
Yeah, well, I see Asmodeus saying
it's also not up to her anymore. Whether
Asmodeus saying women lie too, and I 100% agree. Trust me, women lie as well, but it has happened. Don't get me wrong. Women have lied and then recount their statements. Sometimes it's because they want to save their husbands or their boyfriends from losing all the money, and that's sometimes the reason why they go back and stay with. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, stay with the abuser. Sometimes they just straight up lie, and sometimes it is true. And when you have, like you said, video proof, allegedly, Von Miller could go fuck himself. That's what I say.
Obviously,
that's it. I think everybody in the house agrees with that. If it is true, we'll have to wait and see on that. But again, not a cowboy, just a schmuck asshole guy who, or she's the schmuck or she's lying. But right now I'm taking her side because that seems to be where the proof is at. And the cops were not playing around trying to track him down. So obviously they seen something, the video, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and also it is a fair point to say that once she realized that bringing these charges against him would void out those $17 million and she's currently pregnant with his child. Yeah. I feel like the pressure of that kind of financial brick hanging over your head could make someone choose to. I
just want to, to recount their statement.
Exactly. Regardless of the validity.
Just go back to Ray Rice. I mean, before the video was released, she recounted the statement, and then we saw the actual beatdown. So, yeah, guys, this shit happens. Men, these fucking football players, or men, or wherever, do these things, and sometimes women do lie to get money or to get fame or whatever, and sometimes the men actually do it, even when women recount their statement. So, take it as you want, make your decisions, but we'll find out the truth in this as time goes on. Von Miller, he's in bad shape, big trouble, as far as I'm concerned.
And by the way, knock on wood, thank goodness. No cowboy shenanigans of this sort in a very long time. Yes. I hope that continues to be the case.
Let's keep it that way. I agree. Now, let's get back to actual football on the field. Panthers, they claimed veteran cornerback Shaquille Griffin off waivers. Seattle cut him. I think Seattle cut him. I think the Houston cut him. I don't know. A couple teams cut him. But Shaquille Griffin, who was in the league, and his brother had that arm situation. Both guys from UCF. Yep. He was claimed off waivers on Thursday. Was released by the Texans on Wednesday. Also, another interesting move that happened kind of on our game day. I didn't get to say this here. The Cardinals and tight end Zach Ertz are mutually parting ways. Arizona decided to move forward with the guy I said was their best tight end, Trey McBride. Mm-hmm. And again, giving Ertz opportunity to finish out the season somewhere else. He's on waivers. He cleared waivers, by the way, and is free to sign with any team. But I don't think he's signed with anyone yet. And again, the Eagles, they're one of the teams that may be trying to go grab Zach Ertz back to their team. He needs 11 catches to pass Harold Carmichael for the Eagles if he goes back there to become their all-time leading receiver. And there is expectation that the Eagles are interested in him to see what he can do for them. I don't know. Zach Ertz wants to land with a contender, and the candidates include, outside of the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills. So that's the situation. Now, let's go back to this Sunday, which we know there was a couple important games there, starting with the Niners game against the Eagles. And I think we can all say, as far as records, the way they showed out against the best teams, I'm going to say it. Cowboy fans might not like it, but the Niners are showing, at least, as of right now, they are the best team in the NFL. Even though I know they're beatable, they're showing like they're the best team in the NFL, guys. The Eagles took a big L. They were up 6-0, and then it was like 6 straight touchdowns, I think, by the Niners. 42-19 was the final in that game yesterday. The Niners destroyed us 42-10. They destroyed the Eagles, or 45-10. They destroyed the Eagles 42-19. So they basically wiped the floor with the best teams in the NFC. I guess you get NFC East too, but in the entire NFC, the Eagles, what's good is fuck Philly. They got embarrassed. They got bullied. And the Niners do that to a lot of teams. They really hurt you. But what doesn't happen That's common, that the Niners will use that physical play. What's not common is that but a lot of the fucking Eagle players were boo-hooing on the sidelines, crying. The rookie, Jalen Carter, A.J. Brown was pissed and crying. They're all crying. All right, again, the trash talk got to them, it looks like. A very mentally weak Philadelphia team. Will they rebound and come correct and ready for us this week? They definitely have something to play for, but I think they maybe have been broken a little bit by the Niners. And
there's a bit of a chink in their armor for sure. And like you guys have said, it seems like all that luck that kept going their way, obviously that didn't quite happen in this game.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at what the Eagles are, and we've talked about this, there's a lot of chance they can be a good team. But look, I want to first do some mathematics. 5 is always greater than 1, you little bitch, Sirianni. I fucking hate you. Cry, Eagles. Cry. Fuck you. I'm going to leave that up for a minute because we're talking about the Eagles for a second here. Our next opponent, we're going to take a quick sneak peek preview. We'll do it right now before we can break down that Seattle game, which passed a couple days ago. Got a couple interesting things, though, to say about that game. First, the Niners, yes, they beat the Eagles. They made them cry like bitches. But I think they're a mentally weak team. I think the Niners exposed a lot of what the Eagles are weak at. And, you know, it was not just the Niners, guys. This entire season, I mean, the Jets did it, but other teams that almost beat them, we also showed some weaknesses, exposed some weaknesses for the Eagles. The Niners, of course, did it. But even the games that they won the last 2 weeks before, which they should have lost both of them, the Kansas City game, the Buffalo game. Imagine if that had happened, baby. Right now, we'd be in first place by ourselves. And if we beat the Eagles, we'd be 2 games up on them. That's pipe dreams. That's not the reality. They won their games. They got lucky. They didn't get lucky against the Niners. But they're a mentally weak team, the Eagles. If they beat us, they're back to being stronger mentally. So we got to make sure we bury these motherfuckers. And I know we don't go into first. We tie them if we win this game against the Eagles. We don't go into first place, though, because they have tiebreaker. And they probably will unless they lose one more game sometime this year. Of course, after us, it's Seattle Seahawks. And I'm pretty sure after that, it's the Giants, Washington, and the Giants. We got to hope the NFC East pulls out a victory here after we hopefully destroy the Eagles this weekend. The chances of earning the number 1 seed in the NFL now. The Eagles dropped to 47%. The Niners are at 43%. This is a neck-and-neck race, and right now the Niners would have the tiebreaker on them. So we're the Cowboys. We're only at 6%, but it did go up. I think we were at like 4%. So now we went up to 6% after these Sunday's games. The Lions are at 5%. Not much better than us there. So those are the 4 teams that have a chance to get the number 1 seed. NFC South, no one has a chance to get that number 1 seed. Now, thanks to a 4-game winning streak by our Dallas Cowboys and the Niners blowout of the Eagles yesterday, the rematch in Dallas has significant ramifications. The NFC East throne is in the balance here to some extent, and also, of course, the number 1 seed, NFC having been placed. That entire NFC now, it was run by the Eagles. Now the Niners have the inside track with the Eagles, and we're right there with them. Now, listen, even if we beat the Eagles out for that NFC East, the Niners still have us.
Yep.
The Lions still have us. We get the Lions later on in the year, so that's not too worrisome as of right now. But we have to hope that both the Eagles and the Niners lose at least one more game, and we got to win out to get that first seed. And if that happens, we control our destiny.
Yeah. Funny how things haven't really changed from our early preseason predictions, where most of us were pretty much in the thought of, in the end, it's going to come down to one of these 3 teams, right? The Niners, Philly, and us, of course. Yeah. So
Lions hanging in there, but
yeah, there's other teams that are obviously technically in the mix, and we're not going to take them out of that mix. But we're in the top 3.
Yeah, and again, because without us winning these easier games, we would never be in the running. At least we're in the running now. We made our own bed, losing to the Eagles. Close, losing to the Niners by a lot, blowing the game against the Cardinals, which was embarrassing. And that right there could be the difference maker. I said this when we lost to the Eagles. And when we lost to the Cardinals, I said that could be the difference maker in the first seed. And it might be. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, can't change the past. So everything's back on the table now. The NFC East, the NFC Conference Championship. The NFC Conference, the first seed, the bye, all that stuff is there. And the Eagles go from this physical beat-down game that they got mentally and physically beaten by the Niners to facing a rested Dallas Cowboy team. In Big D, we have 14 games in a row, 1 at home. Now, this sets it up, here's the letdown by the Cowboys. Cowboys got to show up and say, no, we have confidence. We have confidence that we're going to go 15 weeks in a row at home and beat these beaten-down Eagles. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking about when we go into this game. And hey, listen, let's take the quick preview here. But before I even do the quick preview, what happened since then? Well, something happened. This guy, not in a Cowboy uniform. That's Shaq Leonard, guys. Darius Leonard today made his decision. Little bitch. Like we had figured, he has a lot of connection with Sirianni, with other coaches, with some players.
Yeah, it's hard to beat those personal connections.
Yeah.
It is a little funny that he ended up becoming Eagle after this loss,
I think he sees that there's more weaknesses for the Eagles than the Cowboys, and he could probably help them more. And the Cowboys, we'll see. The Eagles and former Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard has agreed. They both agreed to terms today on a 1-year deal, which was the expectation. After he took that visit to Philly last week, a potential big addition for the stretch run for the Eagles. Will he play this week? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But he visited with the Cowboys earlier in the week as well last week, and according to most sources, Philly was always his preferred spot. So just in case we were wondering, he was always leaning towards the Eagles. It almost feels like he was trolling us. So it's time for payback in my mind. Listen, he trained with he has deep ties to the Eagles. He's trained with their players. Even Sirianni was the offensive coordinator with the Colts in Indianapolis when Leonard was there in Indy from 2018 to 2020. But you know what he is now? The motherfucking enemy. Mm-hmm. So fuck Shaq Leonard. Fuck Darius Leonard. It's time to get some payback. For trying to troll us, we're going to troll you by just beating your asses to the ground. That's my hope. That's my hope. So,
I did want to also very quickly just kind of point out, this is... Okay, so he does technically still have a chance to play this week. Like you said, like it's
I'm
close.
not sure, but yeah.
We've seen it before, so there's a lot of other factors going in there, but even if he doesn't, like you said, he's the enemy. But more than that, it feels almost like, okay, he always knew the job that he wanted. He basically had the job offer in hand. He knew he was good for the job, but he still had another interview scheduled that he felt like, yeah, I should follow through, go through the interview, see what they have to offer. We're the second interview in this scenario, guys.
Well,
the Cowboys.
We were the first.
I know we were the first interview, but the
right.
whole point is that he always had the Eagles in his back pocket. Like, hey, we're good. I know I got it. I know they want me. Like, he didn't have to interview for that job.
Can I say one last thing? I do want to hear what the chat has to say about this. But here's one thing I want to say. I want to make a point about the way that Cowboys do business. And this is the problem. Whether we agree with this or not, or like it or not, it's irrelevant. Because to me, it's the clown show. And let me explain what I mean. The Eagles all week, Howie Roseman, who's a much better GM than Jerry Jones. I don't care for those Cowboy fans that suck up and lick dick from our, because they want to think the Cowboys are the best and everything. Please, wake up. I know some content creators, I'm not going to mention them, that swear that Jerry Jones is better than Howie Roseman. But I swear these Cowboy content creators are just pumping it up for the gullible Cowboy fans. The truth is, Howie Roseman is a much better GM. Whether he makes, listen, he gets the guys he wants in there. They make the moves to try to win. It's up to the players and the coaches to get it done. But Howie Roseman gets shit done. Plain and simple. You know what the difference is, baby? I'm going to leave it like this. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones, what do they do, baby, when they talk to players and they want to lure them to Dallas? What do they say? They say, to play for the star on your helmet with the star, it's a big deal. Like it's like you're doing yourself a favor if you come to Dallas. The Eagles and Howie Roseman say, listen, we want you in Philly. We want you here. We need you here. The Cowboys are like, you need the star. You see what I'm saying? Jerry Jones pushes, hey, you need the star, while the Eagles say we need you. That's why the Cowboys have a lot of issues sometimes going for guys they supposedly want. And Dan Quinn wanted Shaq Leonard. So this is another failure. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I do think that goes into the process of the way the Cowboys run the store here for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why we fail a lot when it comes to free agent moves. They're trying to lure guys here. Due diligence is only that we just say, hey, you got to play here and play cheap with the star in your helmet. And the Eagles, for example, and other teams say, we need you here. We want you to feel nice and comfortable to play here. We want you here. Cowboys do the opposite. They make you feel like you need us. It usually don't work out for the Cowboys when they do it that way, and it's the way it's been. Clown show style.
I have to throw this out there. I actually disagree on your assertion of this being some clown show fuckery, because honestly, I said it. It sounds like he had already had his mind made up on the Eagles. It doesn't sound like the Cowboys had that much of his heart set on him. Like, yeah, of course Quinn wanted him. No one's denying our linebacker position couldn't use some help. But I actually agree with Tyrone Church and others in the chat saying, you know, Evans has been looking better as the weeks have gone by. I'd rather see more Evans than have seen
except in coverage.
Leonard.
Except in coverage, because we know what happened there. Big
a lot of our coverage stuff has been suspect.
But the linebacker, Rashad Evans should not be covering any Tyler Lockett 50 yards down the field. So, not that Darius Leonard could do it, because he can't, but Marquise Bell could. Look, all I'm trying to say, baby, I'm not trying to say this is the bad move for us or a good move for the Eagles. What I'm trying to say is that the clown show is, not that they fucked up this thing, that's the way they do things.
I know, as Cody is saying, you're privileged just to be here, and that's like Stephen Jones's, that's like the Jones
Right, that's
mentality.
the due diligence. But that's a problem, because it's not only about, well, you need the star on your helmet. We're doing you a favor. We should be like, hey, we really want you here, and that usually makes the player say, you know what, I might play. If it's a close call, I'll play for you guys. The money is probably the same. The fucking tax breaks are better in Dallas, but yet the Cowboys fucked it up. Now, again, whether we need them or not, that's up to you guys. I don't think we had to have them. It would have been nice to have a little more depth there at linebacker, but it's more about the way they do things. So I don't really give a good God fuck about Darius Leonard, to be honest with you guys. He's gone, so gone. He went up and beat his team's ass this week, hopefully. But it's more about the clown show, the way they do their shit. They say, you need to have this star on your helmet. And other teams say, we need you, sir, the player. Make them feel good to come to that team. Yep. Cowboys don't do that.
I'm going to read 2-3 very quick comments and then
keep it going.
Keep it rolling here. So James Hurst said, Jerry's business first. Lost in Translation said, Barr's literally sitting on the couch.
No.
Rare said, where?
Anthony Barr is not sitting on the couch. He's with I forgot who he got picked up on. He got picked up and he is playing. He was he was elevated and played this week, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a West Coast team, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember who. Was it Minnesota got him back? Maybe Minnesota got him back.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't know, but the point is that they upped them from the practice. They signed them to the practice squad and they put them on their elevated roster this week.
But motherfucking Cowboys are not taking Anthony Barr from
Anthony Barr is not coming to Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, so let me keep rolling here. Dreyer said, where did Jerry take Shaq to grab lunch? McDonald's? Yeah, he got him at McGriddle.
He probably went to 7-Eleven with that cheap box wine.
Oh, Dirty South said, there's other free agents. Sign someone for depth. Allow them to adjust to the team.
Yeah, and we got Rashaan Evans. I think he's very well qualified, but just not to cover Tyler Lockett down the field.
Pioneer is saying the Niners and Eagles management actually wants to win a Super Bowl. Jerry only wants people to think he actually wants to win a Super Bowl.
Jerry Jones wants the people to keep their eyes on Dallas, even if it's just in discussion, so we don't sign the guy, because somehow it makes Jerry more money.
No, I've always had a different perception of Jerry. I'm sorry. Of course he wants to win a Super Bowl. That's stupid. But
he wants to, but he wants to do it his way.
Exactly. That's the key difference.
And that's the clown show.
But like I said, I do not think this is a clownery fuckery here. So Lost in Translation said, yeah, waffles and pancakes, although one of those is the correct choice.
I'm still sick.
And one of those is disgusting and wrong.
I'm still sticking with
waffles.
I'm still sticking with the fact that Jerry Jones took him to fucking 7-Eleven.
Amazing Game said, Shaq is a backstabber. I mean, if anything, he was loyal to the people who had been loyal to him before, because like we said, he had an overwhelming amount of connections to the Eagles between coaching and players and other staff members. Come on, guys, it's the same reason we're talking about bringing back Anthony Barr, because he has a crap ton of connections with the front office and certain coaches.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Dan Quinn would have wanted him back. If he wanted to really have him back, he would have had him back sooner than waiting all this time. And then Anthony Barr got signed and got elevated. Yes, let me just say one last thing. He can easily be plucked off their practice squad, whoever's team he's on.
Yeah.
He can be plucked off the practice squad of Minnesota, whoever he's on, and he could become on our 53-man roster as part of it. But again, I think it's a Dan Quinn thing. I don't know if he's sold on Anthony Barr. So anyways,
Amazing Games. Take it easy. Have a great night. I appreciate you. So Bruce said also, once Steven spoke out, I knew that the deal fell apart. So...
Yeah. And they all spoke out today. McCarthy didn't hear from anybody, from that side of things. Same thing with Stephen Jones, and then like an hour later, it's like, okay, he went to Philly. So it was kind of expected, I think, that they hadn't heard from Shaq Leonard the whole weekend.
And that's what he's trying to say. That like as soon as we heard those comments coming out the way they did, it's like, yeah, we we kind of suspected, right? Rare also said this reminds me a bit of the OBJ situation. Somewhat similar in the sense that obviously there was a big courting period and we brought him in and health was a big question.
We were fighting the Giants for him, but he never played with anyone last year because he was too injured to play with anybody. Nobody signed him last year. This is a different situation. Two teams at least won him, the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Exactly. So, and hey, one of my favorite Romo quotes, I'll never forget it. This is a speech he made when he officially handed off the crown and the scepter to Dak Prescott. Football is a meritocracy. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It's about what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And that also includes all these kind of players and things that we're talking about. But let's be honest, in the last handful of years, the Eagles have definitely been the more aggressive team when it comes to making these types of moves. And Dallas has not quite kept up. And you see teams like the Niners as well making somewhat similar moves.
Do you know why?
I want to give credit to someone in the chat who said earlier, the Niners are actually running an effective West Coast offense. And that, combined with their defense, is why they're the dominant team in the NFL right now.
But you know what? I agree, but that's why they're still beatable, and we can beat them. If we had a better GM, maybe we would be able to beat them. Listen.
Every Sunday.
All I'm going to say is this, and I'm always going to say, fucking clown show. One way or the other, they always fuck us.
All right.
But we got to overcome them, the refs, and the opponent. I've been saying this for 6 years plus on here, and I'm gonna say it again. Another day, baby. Hit up the chat. The last comments on all this, Eagle, Darius Leonard.
Yes.
I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick.
No problem. So, and like I said, I still disagree with Mr. MCF's general point of clowniness there from our front office, at least in this particular scenario, right? It's not like throwing more money at him would have fixed this problem necessarily, right? Like I said, it doesn't sound like it was a money issue, and I wouldn't have wanted to start throwing random money at him just to keep him from the Eagles. You know what I mean? That might as well just pick them up for the $5-6 million or whatever the heck it was, right? So Scorpio said our front office is just not aggressive. Old dogs, no new tricks. On that, I have to disagree a tiny bit because we saw at least 1 or 2 new tricks this offseason. I'll keep saying it. We were very excited about the Gilmore and Cooks moves. We thought that they were finally we're seeing Dallas get involved in the mix in some of these situations. Of course, we still did it in our very typical Cowboy way, where, we're doing this in the offseason, we're doing it with draft picks and things like that. So it wasn't exactly like a free agent move or anything like that, but it still, to me, was a change from the way we used to do things. Obviously, you have to imagine that Dan Quinn and McCarthy are also big factors, like we've been saying, right? It's not like the Joneses were the only ones who were like, oh yeah, we might want him or whatever. Like, Dan Quinn wanted Leonard possibly in the building, so it just didn't work out. It is what it is. And Asmodeus, of course. No truer statement has ever been spoken when it comes to relation to the Cowboys. That's the whole reason OBJ even took a step in the building, right? If you want to boost your worth to other teams, just show interest in the Cowboys, even if you have no interest in the Cowboys. So honestly, even if Philly was always his choice, he probably did the whole Cowboy song and dance just so Philly would throw a few more incentives his way. Or honestly, some people just want to be romanced. Wined and dined. Maybe he just wanted Philly to fight for him a little bit. We don't know. I'm not there behind the scenes, but it cracks me up a little bit there. So, and yes, Tyrone Church. Hey, that's why I say any given Sunday. I mean, it's not like I made it up. You guys know that, but there's a reason that having an undefeated season is not exactly a feather that every team can put in their cap. It is very hard, even for NFL. Or even for Super Bowl winning teams, to win every single game. So as much as I know that the Niners...
That's the last time it happened.
No, the Patriots had an undefeated season.
No, they didn't. They lost the Super Bowl.
I guess I meant regular season, but, if you want to get technical and all the postseason stuff, I meant regular season. So I guess let me clarify
postseason is the most important. You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying the Dolphins went 14-0, and then they won all the playoff games, won the Super Bowl.
I know.
That's why they're the greatest undefeated team, I guess you can say.
I saw it. But no, my point is that even fantastic, amazing, dominant teams have their moments You know, and that's why the Niners losing the 1 or 2 games that they lost, the 2 games. But I made a joke in the chat.
Niners lost 3 games.
Oh, true, that's right.
3 in a row after they beat us.
I made a little joke just saying that the Niners, I'm like, apparently all you need to beat the Niners is a quarterback that's basically fresh out of high school, fresh out the womb. Because they've lost to like 2 of the youngest quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So I just thought that was a little bit funny. So anyway, now that Mr. MCF is back, let's keep it rolling here because obviously, like we said, now it's all about the Cowboys and the Eagles specifically and that matchup. I mean, basically since the second R game ended, that's all anyone has been talking about.
Let's take a quick dip, baby, about this game here, the Eagle game against versus the Cowboys, and a quick preview before we dive into the Seattle game, get all the odds and ends figured out. Make sure you guys know exactly what's going on, and then we're calling it a night here, even though it's a late show on MCF. Hope you guys are doing good. Make sure you guys hit that like.
Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below. And, of course, an extra special shout-out, sponsor of the week, Cash App King, SnugX. Appreciate you. Much love. Mary Alvarez repping it with 39 points on the stream, boss, and as the membership queen.
Yes, as you can see, overall, Jason Renfro in first place. Also, Jason Renfro in first place when it comes to the gifting membership side of things. And when it comes to the Cash App, the leader, Stanley Smith, who's second place on that overall board as we speak. Mary Alvarez in third, and a lot of other ballers right there. I think Skeptical next. Everyone's repping it here. That's star for everything. Thank you guys. And now, you can drop it and stop us in the middle of of our discussions if you like, to add to your raffle entries or start a new, get a new raffle entry, a first raffle entry for this fantastic 4-prize giveaway from the man, the lunatic.
That's right, guys. You drop $10 or more, bam, you're in it. Those entries stack. You can keep on stacking them, and membership has its perks. You do get an additional bonus entry for that. There's 4 awesome prizes. In fourth place, you have, this awesome cowboy car gear, right? You got the decal, the stickers, pretty much everything you see here, guys. Third place, of course, the customizable cowboy shirt, any name, any number. That Micah Parsons embroidered cap. And in first and second, respectively, your choice of an authentic, stitched-in jersey. As long as we have the player, the style, the size, we got you. And there's a very good chance we're going to have the player you want, the style, and the size. So.
Usually. And there you go, guys. So, yes, much love to the lunatic. $10 per, unlimited entries. Stacking these things gets you better chances to win one of these 4 fantastic prizes. Anyways, on that note, let's break down a little bit more on what's going on with this game when it comes to the Eagles. Oh, not them. Not those guys.
Now that obviously the Eagles have
show.
Officially played their game, now we can start more seriously discussing this matchup.
Yeah, so look, tomorrow we're going to really dive deeper into this. Today's just a first preview glance. But when you look at this right now, guys, the Cowboys are 9-3. The Eagles are 10-2. Game is on Sunday night football, 7:20 Central. But 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. The Cowboys are currently favored by 3 points. And the over-under, point-wise, 52.5. So it's going to be a battle, most people believe, and I believe it as well. It's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy for either team. The Eagles have only lost twice this year. First time was a 20-14 loss against the Jets. The Eagles had 4 turnovers in that game. The Jets had none. Key right there. We're going to dive into that this week. We got to cause turnovers, not have turnovers. And I also mean stops on downs. So that killed us against the Eagles last time. But it's difficult to come away with a lot of takeaways in a mistake-riddled performance, like the Eagles had against the Jets. But then, of course, our second loss, 42-19, this past Sunday to the Niners, which, again, to me, when it comes to scouting for the Cowboys, a lot of holes you see in this Philly team. That's the key, guys. The lesson, the Niners had success getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. So if you want to know how to try to beat the Eagles, turnovers, win the turnover battle, and get the ball in the goddamn top play and get the ball. We tried to get it to Tolbert last time against the Eagles. And I'm sorry, but we had Ferguson wide open. He's become a playmaker. We had other guys open. And, the plays seem to be forcing the ball to the guys to try to spread it around. And that is not the answer. You got to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. So the Niners, for example, 213 yards after the catch. After the catch against the Eagles. Made up over 2/3 of their passing yardage. It wasn't that Brock Purdy and his MVP-like performance they were putting up there with Hurts and Dak. But Brock Purdy, well, he was great. He ran the system great. He threw the ball, and the playmakers made them suffer. Get the yak. I mean, Deebo Samuel had an unbelievable game. So, I mean, he dominated the category when it comes to yak yards. He had 115 yards after the catch on 4 receptions, and he had, 2 touchdowns on that? So, Cowboys have someone capable of dominating like that. Guess who? CeeDee Lamb, guys. He's tied for 8th in the NFL with 403 yards after the catch. So you want to get the ball often in CeeDee Lamb's hands. The previous result this season was close for the Cowboys, of course. So, the ending of that game, we went backwards. We drove down the field 3 or 4 times, couldn't get points because we shot ourselves in the goddamn foot, and Terrence Steele showed up and didn't play.
I can't remember who it was who said it in the chat. Okay, forget it.
What?
Nothing. Keep going, baby. Keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay. So, okay. So, anyways, the point is that the Cowboys right now, getting the ball in CeeDee Lamb's hands, get those yak yards, get the ball in the playmaker's hands against his defense. Their defense is weak. Trust me on that. Weak sauce when it comes to the Eagles. The Cowboys had a first down, as we know, on 6-yard line with 27 seconds to go. A touchdown would have won the game for the Cowboys. But we didn't go forward. We went backwards. False start by Tyler Smith. Hurt us. Pushed it back 5 yards. A sack allowed by Terrence Steele, I think, back-to-back. A delay of game by McCarthy and Dak. That was killer. And it sliced our odds to winning, very thin. And, again, we got that ball to CeeDee Lamb about 2 yards short of the end zone. That's how close those penalties killed us there, right? And those sacks and all that shit. So this will probably be a close game against these Philadelphia filthy Eagles. And there'll likely be a drive where the Cowboys, just as we did against Seattle this past Thursday, will have to come up with some clutch plays to hold on and win this game. And I believe we will do it. I hope we got confidence in the Seattle game to push us over the top.
That's what good teams do.
Yeah, when we meet the Eagles, it's good versus good teams. Now it's time to show us we can put us over the top. So that's what I expect in this quick glance at the Eagles preview here. But we're going to talk about the Eagles matchups, off their offense, their defense, and how we're going to beat them the rest of this week. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks game, which just passed. We beat the Seahawks, you see at the bottom there, at home, 41-35. We scored 14 points in that fourth quarter to kind of, a gritty comeback by Dak, who played one of his best, I think the best game I've ever seen Dak play. And we said that a couple of times this year already. So, under this McCarthy.
Goes to show you, he's looking better
yeah.
as the season goes on.
He's getting more He's getting a lot of confidence. The McCarthy scheme has been opened up after the bye week, and it's really opened up Dak's ability to find playmakers and really lead this team forward. That's what I've been saying for years. I don't know if he was ready to do it a couple years ago, but he's definitely looking ready now.
Heck, even Schoonmakers look better the last week or two.
Yeah, I mean,
I said better.
He's been doing a lot of blocking, but he has a catch in the last 2 games, yes. Schoonmaker.
I think he had a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1 touchdown and then a big first down last week. But look, when you look at the score, you see 41 points, baby. This is the most 40-plus point games in a team's first 12 games of the season. You had the Rams back in 2018, all right? They had 6 of those games. The Rams in 1950 had this, and so did the Niners in 1949. The Cowboys have 5 games of 40 points or more with Kansas City, Denver, Indianapolis, St. Louis, all these other teams. But these are teams that range from the years 1948 till as late as now with the Cowboys. So it's not a very it's
not easy to
very
do,
difficult.
And definitely in the modern era, you see it a lot less frequently. And again, the names on that list. I mean, it sounds, if I'm not mistaken, again, wasn't that the year the Rams won the Super Bowl?
In 2018, I think they lost the Super Bowl.
Did they lose? But they made it to the Super Bowl.
The Rams,
my point is that
the only modern. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just a lot of those teams are on that list, and also went on to either championship games or Super Bowls. That's my point. They ended up being very top tier teams.
You're looking at other than okay. So you got the St. Louis Rams, who did win the Super Bowl in 2000 as the 8th team here. The Colts in 2004, who also won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning that year. The Broncos in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, did they win the Super Bowl that year? I think they did. And then the Chiefs in 2018, who I think also won a Super Bowl, and the Rams, who lost in the Super Bowl. Those are the 5 teams that have done this in the 2000s. Everybody else, I'm talking about 1948, 51, 52, 67, 68, 49, 50. These is when they did this. I don't even count those. I think there's 5 teams that did it in the modern era. And the Cowboys are one of them right now. That should put us If we are consistent in the playoffs with our offense, and our defense can play a little better, more consistent as well, man, we are a team that can make the run in this thing. Now, as far as the Seattle game, 15.25 million viewers for this Cowboys-Seattle game on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video. That edges out Thursday night's Vikings-Eagles season opener at 15.05. So, again, we got about 200,000 more viewers for this game than that opener, which is a new record for Amazon Prime. Of course, that star over everything. After the game, Pete Carroll from the Seahawks said a couple of things that kind of bothered him about this game. A couple of quick points, I will say. First, let me put up this teary-eyed Seahawk. Pete Carroll said, quote, "It's unfortunate. It feels like there was a whole other factor that made the difference in his game. There were just too many penalties." Someone's blaming penalties.
So, no, he can't outright say, fuck these fucking refs. So that's his way of saying the other factor was clearly the refs.
Yeah, remember, we also were getting banged up by the refs as well. But look, both teams played.
We understand.
Both teams played sloppy.
Yeah,
and that's the bigger issue, in my opinion. Cowboys got to clean their shit up. Entering Thursday, Geno Smith's average time before throwing the ball was 2.91 seconds. That was 24th fastest in the NFL. That's not fast at all.
Yeah.
But against the Cowboys, it went to 2.54 seconds. He was getting the ball out almost a half second faster. Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow has the fourth fastest season average at 2.54. So Burrow with the fourth highest rate of getting the ball out, and Geno Smith was doing that in this game against the Cowboys. And also Geno Smith, they were practicing against the Cowboy defense to make sure that we were not going to, they were not going to let our pass rush affect Geno Smith. That was one of their keys. Geno Smith was sacked only one time and threw for 334 yards against, of course, our Cowboy defense, which is a very good defense. Although, like I said, weak spots across this Cowboy defense, in my opinion. And also, JSN, Jackson Smith Njaba, rookie receiver, said how much he thinks the quick passing game with screens and that kind of stuff, he said that he really does think that is how you can be successful against the Cowboys, both those ways. This is a template for their offense going forward for the Seahawks, given the tough defenses and pass rushers they will continue to see. The Eagles are next week's opponent for them. And, after the Eagles play us, the Eagles get to the Seahawks. Hopefully, they'll continue to use this system against the Eagles and maybe get an upset win against them. We'll see what happens. But I know we had some people speak about this game, this Seahawk game.
A few.
And I'm going to start off by saying something like this. Well, let me start off this way first. There's a lot of talk out there. Actually, I'll go with this first. A lot of talk out there, some rumors out there that, believe it or not, even though Mike McCarthy has been a guy who I believe started off slow with his offensive game plan, but opened things up and did the needed changes to really get this offense going. There's rumors that the Cowboys could fire head coach Mike McCarthy, replace him with defensive coordinator Dan Quinn if the Cowboys don't make a, quote, deep playoff run this year. That's according to Tony Pauline. The Cowboys have consistently been good these last years. I mean, 3 years in a row with these kind of, 10, it's going to be double-digit wins. I don't think we've done that in a very long time, since maybe the 90s. But the point is, we've been consistently good, above average for sure, but we can't make it past the division round of the playoffs. So we got to get to the conference championship for McCarthy to basically save his job. That's what it sounds like to me. And
has anything really changed from the beginning of the season?
No,
That's kind of what we expected.
the fact that the Cowboys have been doing so good recently and McCarthy's helped this offense in a big way, that's why that word is getting around that, hey, why are we going to move from him now? But
I can't remember if it was Kurtz or Micah who said it earlier this week. That basically, yes, obviously winning the regular season is how you get to that postseason.
Yeah.
But, we still have to do what we have to do in the postseason. This is just setting us up for that.
Yeah. So, look, either way, we have to do it. We just can't say it. We can't hope it. The Cowboys, McCarthy, got to get to the conference championship if he wants to definitely keep his job. According to Tony Pauline, he got his information from sources in the Cowboys. So he said, sources tell me that if McCarthy does not make a deep playoff run in the playoffs and Dallas will let him go, the Cowboys let him go, and Dan Quinn will then be hired as the head coach of the Cowboys. This is the consensus belief throughout the league. So I don't know if it's just the league, sources, I don't know if they come from the Cowboys, but the point is, and I've said this at the beginning of the season, if we don't get to the conference championship, McCarthy's gone. I like what McCarthy's done and changed things up. I know you have connected McCarthy with Dak. This seems to be more of a McCarthy thing for now, in the sense of like he has to get this team going, and I do believe he has. So at least that's a good thing going forward. Gives him a better chance to kind of keep that job. Now, what do the Cowboys do here when it comes to this season? Cowboys have won 14, or last season too, 14 straight home games in a row after defeating the Seahawks 41-35. The last two teams to reach a winning streak of at least 14 games for us is 2020. I'm sorry, it was the 2020 to 2022 Packers, the 2017 and 2019 Patriots, and both those teams that did it last saw their quarterback win MVP at least once in that stretch. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady there. So keep that in mind for those that are thinking about Dak Prescott MVP. The Cowboys are one win away from having 3 straight seasons with double-digit wins for the first time since the mid-90s. 94, 95, and 96.
What was happening during those years?
Yeah, some Super Bowls are going down.
I
McCarthy, though, has got the offense back on track. And again, this will be the third year we have double-digit wins in a regular season. But we got to get those wins in the playoffs. Got to get a streak in those playoffs. So, McCarthy's hanging on there. Now, I don't know if you have anything from Jerry Jones. But Jerry Jones kind of said some things today, and it was about Darius Leonard. We're not even going to care about that.
Yeah, his comments obviously ended up being moot, but he basically just kind of said we brought him into the building, and that health was just the biggest question for the Cowboys. So honestly, he had already said that, and it wasn't anything we didn't already know.
We'll see if Darius Leonard... He just kind of
basically straight up also said, we won't know till after the Eagles game, and well, look at that.
A couple guys that we didn't get, like Jamal Adams. And who was the other guy that a couple other guys we didn't get that we wanted to pick up, and the Seahawks kind of showed us that thank goodness we didn't have to pick these guys up. Thank goodness we didn't go for them. Had the game
gone differently, you might have seen the Cowboys either being more aggressive or making different types of moves. But sorry for those who don't like to hear it, but the Cowboys are happy with who they have.
Yeah, and nothing's changing about that. So Jerry Jones said this, basically, when the Cowboys offense takes the field, Jerry Jones said he's overcome with a feeling of confidence. And he talked about the Thursday night game again on Friday. He talked about Dak Prescott, and the offense showed why. He has, a feeling of, Jerry Jones has a feeling of great confidence. Basically, he said we have an elite receiver. You have Dak Prescott is having elite quarterback play. We have a rising tight end in Jake Ferguson, consistent offensive line. The Cowboys' offense under McCarthy right now is a well-oiled machine. Jerry Jones said this about Dak Prescott, quote, "We've never had a better leader. Dak Prescott is the best Pied Piper for everybody. I'm not just talking about the team. I'm talking about the coaches. He is the Pied Piper of the team." What else did Jerry Jones say about this entire game against Seattle?
Yeah.
And... again, these are a couple interviews he had. I think he had one on Friday. I think he had one over the weekend. I think he had another one today.
He spoke a little bit after the game.
Let's hear it.
But since you just talked about Mike McCarthy, Jerry, spoke on 105 through the Fan, talking a little bit about McCarthy, getting back into the play calling and stuff like that. He said he's the busiest man in town, and he's doing a great job. Well, at least Jerry's happy, which is all that matters.
We heard the fact that they might be moving up from McCarthy if you don't get deep in the playoffs. So right now, it's nice right now. It's going back and forth nice because the Cowboys front office, and so do the fans, want to see McCarthy get into that past the divisional round, into the conference championship, Super Bowl, and that's 6 and beyond. What else did Jerry say?
He also said this in regards to Dak Prescott, saying Dak Prescott has had his proverbial butt kicked most of his life. And boy, he understands playing down because he's had a lot of down in his life. When you want to really look at the number one thing in life that makes somebody successful is that they learn how to get down licks, then turn around, not flare, and overcome them. That's what we've got at quarterback. And hey, you can't deny that statement has some serious truth to it, right? So adding on to there as far as Dak, well, I think you already mentioned the Pied Piper comment. He's the Pied Piper of the team. So, and then after that, we actually heard from Stephen Jones as well. So I have one or two other Jerry quotes, but because he's his comments directly relate more to some comments made by Dak and Ferguson, okay. I kind of saved him for that.
Sounds good.
But Stephen, this was literally the quote from Stephen on Shaq Leonard, just so you guys are aware. This is what he said: "We just have no idea right now. It's a work in progress. We'll see. There hasn't been a lot of back and forth. We had a great visit, kind of laid out everything for him in our vision, how he could help us win a championship. I think he enjoyed his visit here, but obviously there's more than us involved here. We just have to see. So even, like you guys said, from that statement alone, you already knew, like, uh-oh.
Not going the right direction if you want him.
Yeah. Like, there hasn't been a lot of back and forth. Like,
I wonder if that has to do anything with the clown show. I'm just saying, like, they didn't show they wanted him. They said, hey, you need the star. We don't need you. That's what I feel they do sometimes. Maybe we don't need him. But it's just like, it's the same old story with these guys. And that's it. Whether he gets hurt in the next game because he has health issues and the Cowboys are right, that would be, you kind of fall into what they said. And this has happened with the Joneses. They've actually made some good choices here. Randy Gregory, other guys out there. But they've also made some bad choices. We know. Yeah. And they fucking clown showed the shit out. So we don't know if they're good or bad yet. Either way, it's clown show. Yeah. No matter how you slice it.
I was actually going to save this comment for the Dak Prescott discussion, but I think this is a good way to go into some of the post-game comments by Dak Prescott himself, if that's all right with you, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in, though, because I got some Dak Prescott stats, too.
Perfect. But Jerry said it. He's getting better, which is saying something when you've got his experience and had the reps that he's had in his career, had the successes, if you will. Adding in there, quote, Dak's playing the best. He's getting better. In my mind, he's the best he's ever been. So, not just in your mind, Jerry, on the tape, in Dak's mind, for the coach's mind, probably for the fans' minds at this point, Dak is playing exemplary football. Huge credit to him. And yeah, usually you see that kind of jump earlier in a QB's career, considering how long Dak has been the QB. But we knew that between the coaching situation and then the unfortunate injury situation that happened after McCarthy came in, we all know how that kind of ended up, unfortunately, breaking down. But let's hear straight from our quarterback because, like we said, he usually gets only shit. Now he's getting all this love.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised a lot of our family members here are finally coming around and saying, "Damn, Dak can do it." And you know why Dak can do it? It's partially Dak, of course, and growing and learning, of course. It's the scheme.
Oh, yeah.
People don't want to accept that, but it's the way you use Dak to his skill set and his strengths. If you do that, Dak is a pretty damn good quarterback. I didn't think we'd even see MVP style. I just said a damn good quarterback. Top 10, easy. Sometimes could be a top 6, 5, maybe, if he's having a great year. Now he's like top 3. I'll tell you in a minute, but go ahead, babe. What did Dak say?
Yeah, Dak said this specifically going from so many people giving him love, or, there's so many people giving him crap to so many people giving him love. Quote, there's no difference when they're hating me and calling me for my position. I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. And I think about that each and every day that I wake up. I'm grateful for that opportunity to do that, and I go and attack the day. I understand that no one's opinion defines me, and that's the great part about life. That's a great opportunity we all have. People can say whatever they want. But I have the pen, I have the paper, and I am the one writing. Because I am playing as well as I am now. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop. It doesn't mean I'm going to listen to them now. I appreciate them, but I don't care about their opinions right now any more than I did when they were calling for my spot. As I said, I am blessed, and this last year has been a reflection of that. A lot of great things have happened in my life, and they're going to continue to happen in my life because of my mindset and where I put the value in my life.
Yeah.
So
Dak breaking it down.
So adding in there as well as, because of course the second this game is over, they're all like, oh, but the Eagles. Dak said it probably won't be the last time that we get them this season. Whether it's here, whether it's at Philly, really doesn't matter. It's two great teams, division rivals. To get to where we both want to go, probably will have to see one another.
No, I agree.
So, and by the way, Dak also added in there, understand we're back on Philly, and this is where the real football begins. So again, fully keeping that goal in mind, right? Where we're not losing sight of what we're trying to do. And in case you guys were also wondering, because the end of that Seattle game was a little bit crazy, and that was all Dak, too. Like, Dak really came through for us on those last few drives. He said he doesn't even remember what he said to the defense before Seattle's final drive, because it sounds like, obviously Dak was cheering him on. He said, probably go win the fucking game. So, and then the defense went out there and won the fucking game. So,
well, they didn't win it, but they ended it. Micah ended it.
Oh, yeah. So, Dak also acknowledging one of the things that we've all kind of known heading into this Seattle game and obviously exiting it, right? It is important to be the team with the winning record. And to do it in the comeback way that they did, Dak said it gave them a huge shot of confidence moving forward.
And that's the thing.
To be able to overcome that.
That's the thing that's the best thing. I think I said it when we finished the game. I said that's the big thing that this team is going to learn from. They played a team that was 6-5, not really that great, but now they're 6-6. Now they're just 500, but they still are a playoff type winning teams. Whatever it may be. I don't think they're that good of a team. My point is the comeback is what's important against a team that's not. The Giants.
Yep.
We came back against a team that has skill. They showed skill out there and the will to win, and we overcame that and won. We didn't do that against Philly. We came up short. We shot ourselves in the foot. This game, we were pristine. I think we're going to see something like that this week against Philly. I think it's going to be a bigger win than 6 points against Philly. That's my guess.
Yep, he said it. We know the stretch we have coming. This is a big one to get. First one against a team with the winning record, but more importantly, the fashion in which we did it. Guys making plays when plays were needed.
That's facts. And again, the stretch we're seeing here, we know we had the Seahawks playoff team, but then you got 4 playoff teams right next to us. So 5 in a row, the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Lions still up, and then Commanders.
So again, huge shout out there to Mr. Dak Prescott, baby. I know you have a few Dak-related statistical things.
We've all heard Dak talk, and it shows that sometimes he comes out there, does great. Sometimes he's not that great. He talks all these things about needs to get better. But he's finding confidence. He's at a new level. And I think, again, I'm going to reiterate. You guys, some people think that I'm all Dak. Listen, it's a combination team thing. And Mike McCarthy has helped this as much as Dak has. And because listen, I think it's easy to come up with something. I thought it was easier to come up with a skill sets, game plan for Dak. But nobody fucking did it. Not Garrett, not Lenahan, not Kellen Moore. But we finally got someone that finally is getting to that top of the mountain with Dak Prescott and getting the most. I'm not saying he's the best ever, just the most out of him.
Had Dak not gotten injured, we probably would have seen this a little bit sooner.
Probably, a year or two earlier. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But Dak Prescott has something that I'm about to tell you about. But first, the man, Jason Renfro. Woo. I know we've been gone a couple days, guys. We appreciate the love you guys are dropping to make up for these days. And Jason Renfro's taking a lead in the overall board, and he's giving another gifted membership there to 9 on it. He's got 9 times, as in Ferris Bueller. What did Jason Renfro say, baby? He's not giving. He's dropping his membership. I thought he actually gifted a membership. My fault. You gotta let me know. I didn't know.
Well, baby, you kind of just.
I said it, but you said you should have said he didn't gift it. But yes, either way.
Well, with 31 months in that star level membership, huge shout out to you, Jason Renfro, saying,
"What is monthly comment?
It's time to focus on beating the Eagles, sweep the rest of the season, prepare for 6 and beyond. We let Dak have the reins from the start, and we ain't talking about that. Oh, we need teams to lose for that number 1 seed. So the problem. That's what I mean, though, Jason." If we had been able to establish the whole McCarthy situation and everything like a little bit better earlier on, I think we would have seen this Dak Prescott-McCarthy connection earlier on. But it sounds like McCarthy also had a few things he had to figure out on his end, so
I think,
maybe not.
I
was still in the building.
I think, that was at the end of last year. I'm saying this year, Kellen Moore's out. And I think that when we did our installation, McCarthy had... we talked about this, the leftover parts of the Kellen Moore offense that Dak agreed to and the offense agreed to and did well with, and we're going to incorporate that. But did we ever see any of that? Be honest, guys. Did we see any true Kellen Moore aggressive throwing the ball down the field? I'm not saying that's good. You have to do it quicker. Kellen Moore didn't know how to adjust when we had our offensive line not able to block. That's on Kellen Moore, not Dak. But when you have McCarthy, why do we start off with those first 5-6 weeks before the bye week? And you guys, please go back to the bye week and look at what I said. I said this is the only thing that's going to save our season. If McCarthy gets to the drawing board and gets this offense more aggressive. I didn't care about Brandon Cooks. I didn't care about the tight ends. I don't care about the blocking. I just cared about McCarthy had to fix this, and that was the last chance we had to do it, was during that 2-week break during the bye, and we did it. But why didn't we do it earlier? I think McCarthy, number one, I think you're right. He's trying to figure some things out, but I also think he was nervous about attacking down the field. Maybe because of the offensive line issues. I don't know, but there was something about him. Maybe it was Dak. Maybe it was Dak he was not confident about. But I'm telling you one thing, guys. Once McCarthy saw, oh shit, he's doing this, let's keep doing it. And it worked in practice. It worked after the bye week, and it's worked since. Even if we got one loss since then, which is the Eagles, it was a close game. The reason we lost wasn't because of McCarthy's scheme. It was because of Terrence Steele and dumb fucking penalties. So
something else I also have to give McCarthy credit for as far as like helping out our offense and everything else. McCarthy obviously can't do it all himself. He's brought in some very good people around him that have helped elevate and support him when it comes to the offensive side of things. Dak's comment post-game about how the whole here we go thing even originated. Like, it wasn't McCarthy himself. They were kind of starting things off. And then
did you ever talk about that? I don't know if you...
I think we...
No, I don't think... That was after the game.
I think we just saw it. It's not like it was quoted or anything, but basically after that Seattle game, I'll keep it really short here. After that Seattle game, guys, Dak sat down with some of the reporters and things like that. He was talking. They asked him, hey, where did that "here we go" come from? He said it in training camp, preseason. They were working on some stuff, and the rhythm was off. And Dak said, yeah, this shit's not going to work. So someone on the offensive side of things came up with that cadence of "here we go" to kind of like, well, get everyone ready to go.
I think it was about a routine that you can count on with the offensive line. And when you alter it just a little bit, you have an advantage over the defensive pass rush.
Yep.
And that is where
the offense knows what's going
combination on. A combination of McCarthy, Dak Prescott, and the offense all got on the same page here, and it's working. Whatever they did to switch it up is working. Listen, he did "here we go" last year.
He did.
And this year, it became more of a meaning. It wasn't just "here we go" and get the play going. It was a cadence switch. There were tiny little differences. There were tiny little differences and pauses that the offense knows, but the defense was off. Here he goes again. Let's pass rush now. Boom, free play.
The other factor to me is also something we've touched on several times here. That analytics team that he brought in.
Yes, great point.
Pulling in. They're pulling their weight times 10. They had to catch up. Remember, we brought them in during training camp, and they're sitting here crunching all sorts of numbers. So that's why that bye week was huge too, because it let them aggregate all that data from those first few weeks and say, okay,
here's what we got.
What do we need to do to fix it?
Listen, John Park and Sarah Malapalli and all these people they brought in, about 6 new people. These are the best of the best, and baby, I don't know. I don't really get to watch other content creators too often. I see a little this and that, but I don't think anybody really pushed the analytics side of things as much as we did. Not that I even understand it all or care about it as much as maybe the analytic crazy people do, but I know it's important. I'm not stupid. And the analytics is going to help offense and defense and special teams get to maximize some things. It's not all great. You don't just do it without using your gut or your feeling, your experience. But it's a combination. It's the marriage, the intertwining of both of these things. And that's what the Cowboys I finally got onto. I made this point after, I think, the Rams game. And I said this is when this analytics team will probably start clicking. Why? Because usually you use your analytics team to get your installation of your offense done. That happens in February and March. We didn't have any of these people till fucking May and June. So that is a key. When you push it back a couple months, push it forward a couple months now. Instead of getting it rolling in week 1, we got it rolling in week 7. And that's what you're seeing. I think that with McCarthy and Dak, the combination of everyone on the same page is why our offense is on here. It's not because we're playing shitty teams. It's not because we're playing shitty defenses. Because a lot of these teams are maybe not good teams, but they got good defenses. Some of them are. The Eagles have a good team, but not a good defense. So the Panthers, bad team, but a very good pass defense. The Cowboys did the same against every fucking team. That's the key.
Just think about the double-edged sword of being in the playoffs, right? It's obviously great because that's the whole freaking point. But you know what that does to your postseason? That puts you behind when it comes to drafting and free agents and all that other stuff because you're spending time actually doing football things and not post-football things.
Right, exactly.
So it's basically the same situation here, right? Our guys started a little late, so we had to rush and catch up.
Listen, when it comes to Dak Prescott and some of the numbers, real quick, Dak Prescott has 21 fourth-quarter game-winning drives in his career. He had a whole lot in the first 3-4 years of his career. Then it kind of slowed down. 21 now, total. That's the second most in Dallas Cowboy franchise history, only behind Tony Romo with 24. So Dak, he gets 4 more come from behind victories. Dak is the most, I could say clutch. I don't know, quarterback to bring back the team from deficits to win games. He's number 2 right now. He will probably be number 1. Dak Prescott also has climbed technically to the number 1 spot in the MVP. It was a tie for a little bit there with Jalen Hurts. I think they were, again, these numbers a little behind. I think it was 375 to 1. And you have guys in there like Mahomes, 450 to 1, Lamar Jackson, 650 to 1. But I think Purdy's also jumped in the mix now after this last game. I think I have it somewhere. I'll probably find that and let you know what it is. Yeah, MVP odds per DraftKings. Right now, Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy are 300 to 1 odds, tied for first place. Jalen Hurts is 350 to 1 odds. Tua is 700 to 1. Lamar Jackson 900 to 1 with Patrick Mahomes. So that's you seeing the MVP mindset here, which I don't really care. If he gets it, great, but it's about winning the Super Bowl. We all know that. Now, Dak Prescott, when it comes to a lot of these statistics, he is playing currently. Good teams are bad teams. Good defenses are bad. He's playing at a consistent MVP level the last 2 months. Dak is the 9th quarterback with 20 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions in a single season through a 6-game span. To only have 2 picks in 6 games is a big deal.
Yeah, and especially considering how many picks we used to have.
Yeah, and then you look at the touchdowns. The touchdown interception ratio is 20-2. I mean, that's crazy right there. So 6 of the previous 8 he's the 9th to do this. 6 of the last 8 that did this won the MVP. Here are the other 8. Tom Brady, MVP year in 2007. 2011 was Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees also had the same year, but he, of course, didn't win the MVP. Aaron Rodgers did. 2013 was Peyton Manning who won the MVP. Yep. Aaron Rodgers did it again in 2014 and won the MVP. Russell Wilson. By the way, just saying, those 2 Aaron Rodgers MVPs, who was the head coach? Oh, yeah, Mike McCarthy. Then you had Russell Wilson do it in 2015, but did not get the MVP. Lamar Jackson did have these numbers in 2019 and won the MVP. And then Aaron Rodgers in 2020 also won the MVP when did it 3 times for Aaron Rodgers, by the way. But we know it's mostly Aaron Rodgers, but McCarthy had to help somewhat. So good to, again, Dak is putting up some MVP type numbers. And when you look at, this is what I'm saying here, listen to this. When you look at November 13th, so I would say that's before the Carolina game maybe, or at the Carolina game, when you look at zone coverage for Dak Prescott, when he was throwing against zone coverage, he was 61 of 87, 784 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 116.26 rating. So pretty good numbers there against zone defense. Against man defense, 40 for 53 against man. 570 yards, so that's less yards, but he had the same amount of touchdowns as he had in zone. Only 1 interception, the same there, and 139.66 rating, a quarterback rating. That was November 13th. Now you go to after this Philadelphia game. After this Seattle game. Dak has been facing a lot of man coverage in recent games, which seemed to be his weakness. But he continues to torch it, whether it's zone or man. It doesn't even matter anymore, guys.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Man, he used to do great against man, and then had some trouble. Then against the blitz, he's very good. Against zone, he had some issues, but now he's been better. I'm just saying, the Seahawks went heavy on zone defense.
I was just about to say, look, let's be real. They did their homework. They obviously studied because, like you said, it's something that we obviously struggled with.
The Panthers did it to Dak 2 weeks ago.
Exactly, and then look how that turned out for the Panthers, right?
Well, yeah, but Dak only had 186 yards.
Yeah.
So the pass defense is very good for the Panthers. The Seahawks tried to emulate that. So Dak, again, against the Seahawks, saw 80%. Actually, 80.4. So over 80% of zone coverage. And the problem is that Dak torched them in this zone coverage. Against the Seahawks in zone, Dak went 26 for 34. Missed 8 passes. Threw for 256 yards in zone. 3 touchdowns in zone when the Seahawks had zone defense. No interceptions. And 126.6 passer rating. I'm just going to say this. Dak, even though it was very good in zone before, it could have been better, has gotten better since then. So you're seeing the zone breakdown here from Dak just doing his thing. So Dak is showing us that he can do this. Will the Cowboys be able to keep this up? Will the Cowboys be able to keep this up against better teams? We'll see. Look, you know what's helping Dak Prescott outside of his own great play? The Cowboys use shift and motion. Once again, I always do this check every week. 72.2% of the time. Over 72% of the time, someone was shifting or someone was going in motion. And that's a big jump when we were doing it 8% of the time sometimes, when we were snapping the ball when someone was in motion. That was what we did on our offensive snaps versus the Seahawks. It's perfect. You got to give credit to McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer. They completely changed the offense after the bye week. And this shows
9-day difference.
And this is an example of it. The zone.
It's funny too, because it's not like we had
motion.
Bad games completely in the first half of the season, right? Like a good handful of those games were also very dominant performances by the offense.
I agree.
The other rest of those games
in
that first half that made us go,
Yeah, that was not. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt in those games.
I wanted to throw that out there.
But I think that listen. It's McCarthy, Schottenheimer changing the offense. But listen to this though.
Instead of hot toddy, hot shotty.
The shifts and the motion has helped the Cowboys. But you have to also talk about how good Dak has been pre-snap. Pre-snap, he's reading things. He's moving guys around. He's taking. Remember, McCarthy said it has to be his offense. Dak has taken control of his offense now officially, and again, I'd say he's been fantastic at the line of scrimmage, dicing, breaking everything down, making the calls. Whether it is identifying a blitz, setting the proper protection for him, seeing where the guys are coming, checking in, and then checking out of plays. He's been fantastic in this area. That with the Schottenheimer and McCarthy switches, and the motion, all that stuff, and the analytics, all these things have kind of hitting stride now and coming together. Now, listen, I can sit here and talk about CeeDee Lamb, how great he's been doing. He's having a fantastic year this year. Had another fantastic game, let's be honest, right? I mean, he was making catches. He had like 9 or 10. I don't even remember how many yards. He had a 90-something yard. Great game from CeeDee Lamb, but he had a couple of drops, which to me, one in the end zone by Dak Prescott with a perfect pass and double coverage. What a play. And of course the fourth down missed conversion when CD dropped it. So he's had better games, but I think there's a guy that's actually done a lot better, and I'll talk about him in a minute. His name is Brandon Cooks.
Now, Mr. Seabass throwing out
in
there.
The house.
Dak threw for 374 yards and had 3 touchdowns in the Philly week.
Yep.
When we played them week 9. Dak is also unbeaten at home, 6-0 currently. At the beginning of the year, in preseason, when he was calling the plays for the team, I believe he got a strong familiarization on how to run the offensive scheme, and is translating now to how great he's been. And not just even training camp side of things, right? Like, we saw pretty much all offseason Dak putting in the work with our top guys. So
yeah, in his Dak field.
And they've all mentioned that made a difference for them. So
yeah, he's connecting with the players. Been doing that for a while, and it is coming to.
Couldn't have joined them more.
I know.
I know he did like once or twice.
He was there in Atlanta with them.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he hurt his foot though back. Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
He did. He was kind of banged. You know what? Maybe that also contributed to his lack of initial success here in Dallas. Just glad he's getting more work done.
I hear you. And again, Dak needs to have those same yardage next game, but let's not make mistakes by this offense. That's the bigger issue. So let me just go back to Brandon Cooks though, baby, because Brandon Cooks. A couple little things. First of all, I think he's about 400 and I think he has 495 yards and 98 yards this year. So he's still about 500 back from 1,000 with 6 games left. But my thing is this, 5 games left. If it's going to be tough, guys, for him to get 100 yards every game from here on out. But if somehow, remember, he's hit 1,000 yards, 6 out of 9 years in his career, 4 with different teams. So this would have been a record if he got it with us this year. He probably won't get it. But, man, he is heating up. He's cooking right now. He's the number 2 receiver we have not had for a little bit. With Gallup getting hurt. The last 4 games, when we really started to incorporate, that's when we wanted to see. We wanted to see the offense get more aggressive in that Rams game and beyond that, right? After the bye week. And then after we got past Philly, we knew we were going to have 3 easier games in the Seahawks. We wanted to see more Brandon Cooks and the running game and other things, and we started seeing that. Brandon Cooks, the last 4 games, has 5 receptions per game, which is a big jump for him. 332 yards in these last 4 games. Fantastic. He has 3 touchdowns in these 4 games. 16.6 yards per catch. So whenever he gets that ball, he's getting depth on that route or getting some yak yardage. He also is getting 20.5 yards after the catch per game. That's huge right there. And then you got him with a 4.3 yards after the catch per reception. So every time he catches the ball, he's getting about 4.5 yards on top of wherever he's catching the ball. And that depth of target, when he gets that ball, he's about 12.5 yards per game is what he's getting on the average depth when that ball is thrown to him. So you're seeing the incorporation, the masterfulness of how you use Brandon Cooks in the right way. This is how you do it. So Brandon Cooks in the mix. I wanted to shout him out.
Yeah.
And I also want to shout out one more guy in offense here. I know you have some more quotes, but we have Jake Ferguson, who, by the way, I'm going to remind everybody what Travis Swift said. Travis Kelce said, quote, I don't know if there are any tight ends that remind me of myself, but there are a few guys that I'm excited about. Kyle Pitts is one of them. Jake Ferguson down in Dallas, and Daniel Bellinger over in New York. I'm excited to see how these guys will manifest over the next few years, and, well, we'll see where they can take their game. And I do believe that this was done in the offseason. So Kittle got that right, and not with Pitts as much, and not with Daniel Bellinger with the Giants at all, but he got it with Jake Ferguson. Listen, Kelce and Jake Ferguson's numbers in the first 12 games of their second NFL season, receptions-wise, Kelce had 44 at that time, and Ferguson has 46. So this is the second year in 12 games through. These are the numbers. Receiving yards per game. Kelce had 48.1 on average. Ferguson 41.5, right there with him, 7 yards back. Longest catch, longest reception. Kelce had 34-yard catch after 12 games in his second year. Ferguson already a 40-yard catch. So again, up him there. Receiving touchdowns. Second year, 12 games in, Kelce had 4. Ferguson has 5 currently. So Ferguson doing his thing in a big way. I know he's challenging Witten as the last tight end we had that put up some of these numbers in general here. So when you talk about tight end, McCarthy actually said one other comment. I wanted to make a mention about a tight end, Peyton Hendershot. Guys, what's going on with him? The Cowboys have to make a move with Hendershot very soon, or he will be out for the rest of the season. And so McCarthy, when he was
it's only tough moves to be made, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's nobody injured, which is good. But it was crazy, though, guys, because McCarthy today, when he asked about this, he what do you call it? What
did he say when he was asked about it?
He was asked about Peyton Hendershot and the 21-day practice window, which expires this week. I don't think it's like Friday.
Yeah, is it? And I was going to say, is it like into the week, or does it mean till the end of?
It's this week right now. I think it's closer.
Or is it like if it falls on a Thursday, it has to be done before Thursday type of shit?
I think it's closer to the when we made the move, and I think it was a Wednesday. But so the point is that
this week, but that doesn't mean we have all week necessarily.
Right, exactly. So here's what McCarthy said. First of all, he deferred comment.
Okay,
he didn't want to talk about it. It doesn't sound good for Peyton Hendershot when that happens. And again, according to McCarthy, he said, quote, let's address that on Wednesday. So again, he must be activated in order to play again in 2023. He's out for the rest of the year, meaning he's on IR. But according to all signs, he's physically ready. Not sure what that means as far as mentally in other ways. But McCarthy said he does not have an update on Hendershot, pulling him off of injury reserve yet. The determination will be made on Wednesday. So we should know in 2 days if Hendershot's going to be wearing that star this year, or you have to wait till next year to see if he makes the team again. But his 21-day window has closed. Keep that in mind. It's closed, so he's not. But if the Cowboys don't make a move to put him on that before this game this week, he's out for the year, Hendershot. So we'll see what happens. Not sure everybody thinks about that, but I like Hendershot, but I also like what we're doing right now with our team. And if nobody else, if it's better than cutting him, which might have been the situation. There was talk of when John Stephen Jones did what he did out there, the Cowboys were thinking of cutting someone like Hendershot and McEwen. So they got McEwen in there. He's doing a good job blocking. So we'll see if the Cowboys want to bring Hendershot back in there. Now, one last thing about the offense, baby. I know you have. I'm assuming you have some people that spoke on offense. But let me just talk about the offensive line. Tyron Smith against Seattle. 57 pass blocking snaps, 1 pressure allowed. He allowed 1 pressure. And he had an 86.9 pass blocking grade. This is a few ticks away from being elite against Seattle this game. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin combined to allow just 1 pressure and 0 quarterback hits against Seattle, guys. Both Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, 1 pressure, 0 hits on the quarterback. That's dominant there by 2 future Hall of Famers. They're playing at a high level. Even with Zach Martin having a little bit less of a season.
Yeah, he had a little blip on his radar.
Yeah, because of Terrence Steele, it feels like more. And then Tyron Yeah, but no, I'm talking about this year. Tyron Smith, it's more.
He was banged up in the preseason.
Yeah, he was
kind of. Again, it's not like anything that's kept him from playing and stuff like that, but he's definitely feeling it this year in a way that you don't usually see. He's not exactly an injury-prone type of guy, so.
Yeah, no, Zach Martin is not, but he was a little banged up, but he still played through most of that. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. Tyron Smith's been managed so much better by McCarthy. He's getting his best football in recent years out there and not injured. That's the biggest deal here. When he's not injured, Tyron Smith is one of the best out there in the NFL. So, again, when you look at the weakness sometimes, it's Terrence Steele. Even though he had a better game against Seattle, guess what he had, unfortunately? I mean, remember Dak escaping that sack? That was Terrence Steele's missed block.
Ouch.
Terrence Steele allowed 5 pressures. It would have been a sack. He allowed 5 pressures versus Seattle, making it the 4th time this year Terrence Steele has allowed 5 or more pressures.
Again, Terrence Steele is having quite the rough season coming back from that injury.
Yeah.
That messed up knee did more to our O-line than...
That was my issue when we sign a guy like this for that kind of money off an injury like we did with Gallup, we did with Terrence Steele. My issues are that. But just a reference, 5 or more pressures. He did it. He's allowed it 4 times this year. He allowed 5 or more pressures just 4 times the previous 3 years combined. And last year, he never allowed 5 pressures, not once. So it seems to me to be he learned. He was off in his first couple of years. He learned, and then the injury slowed him down a little bit now, and it's still affecting him when it comes to allowing pressure on Dak, which is a big no-no for this team, in my opinion. So when I look at the highest graded PFF offensive players for the Cowboys, number 1 is CeeDee Lamb with an 81.9. Number 2 is Jake Ferguson with a 78. These are fantastic numbers. Number 3 is Dak Prescott, a great game. Zach Martin, number 4. And Tyler Smith, number 5. Not even a Tyron Smith, but he did great as well. A great job by the offense as a whole. I'll talk about the defense a little bit here, baby, but I know you got some comments and quotes from some of our own Cowboy players.
Yes, I do. And since we're talking about this, and before I do, take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord, links down below. And guys, don't forget, Mr. DeLunatic has an extra special Eagles hate week type of situation here, showing the love back to the MCF family with this raffle. So huge shout out to everyone who's already in it.
4 prize raffle. Yeah.
That's right, and to everyone who is not yet, this is how you do. You drop $10, bam, you're automatically in it, and that is cumulative, right? Which includes every $10 on top of that. So you can stack as many entries as you like, the whole flapjack.
When you're in it, that means you're in it with 1 raffle entry. So let's clarify that. You're in it, but
I didn't think I had to clarify that.
Well, the point is that once you're in it, you got 1 raffle entry. Others going to have more than you. So if you want to try to up your chances to win one of these 4 prizes, every 10, like you said, adds it up. If you have 15 in there, well, you get another 5. You got a second entry. If you're in the membership, now you got a 3rd entry. And that's how that runs. That's how you build your chances. These entries to win one of these 4 great prizes, brought to you by the Lunatic, a family member here at The Godfather.
Yes, and in 4th place, guys, the awesome car cowboy gear you can rep. In 3rd place, the customizable shirt, any name, any number, and that Michael Parsons embroidered cap.
Fire.
And in 1st and 2nd place, respectively, an authentic, stitched-in jersey from the Mosh Man, of course. Any player, any style, any size, as long as we got it, it is yours.
You know it. Much love to the Lunatic for making this happen. And by the way, also much love to Snug X. You know why he's here. Sponsor of the week, Cash App King. Can't do this thing without him. Much love to Snug. Also, much love to Mary Alvarez. Not just the queen of the stream boss with 38 points, still hanging on. She's also the queen of the gifting membership side of things. So much love to Mary Alvarez doing her thing out there. And also much love to Jason Renfro. He's trying to take over some of this board. He's currently the leader on the gifting side of things. He's also the overall leader on our board right now and trying to stack up more raffle entries than anyone else to have the best chance to win one of these 4 great prizes. You look at the leader in the Cash App, SnugX. Will he go for 3-peat? Will Jason Renfro come up there? I don't know. Stanley Smith's got that lead currently in the Cash app. We'll see what happens. Much love to everybody in the house. Much love to the Lunatic. Much love to everybody who dropped the love from above tonight, like Jason Renfro and Zach Luna. That's it. We come back. We got a couple drops.
So, real quick, guys, like you said, baby, we had other players.
Yeah, I suppose.
Speaking here, and Mr. Jake Ferguson. Remember, guys, he kind of, I don't want to say got into it with Jamal Adams after a big yak play. You know what he said?
And a touchdown.
Yes, and a touchdown. But you know what he said? I was just letting him know I got the first down. Talk all you want. So, and by the way, remember that nice, beautiful touchdown that Ferguson had? Do you know who it was against? I'll give you a second. I'll give everybody in the chat a second. It was against Jamal Adams. So, I don't think anybody can hear you, Mr. MCF, all the way from there real quick. But yes, Ferguson absolutely just snatched it right out of the air. Jamal Adams, all he could do is basically allow it to happen at that point, right? Well, you can't. He knows he get a pin. I know. It's one thing to talk shit. It's another thing to back it up. And I'm sorry, the fact that Ferguson did that, he is really coming into his own this year. And remember how I said I had a little Jerry comment here to add in there? Well, Jerry said that before the season opener, he was kind of talking, you know, he's always involved in stuff like that. He asked Ferguson, like, oh, how are you feeling? You know what Ferguson responded to Jerry? He said, dangerous. And you know what? This has been a dangerous year for Ferguson. Like I said, he's fully cemented himself as our number one tight end and continues to impress. You know, Jerry said it. He played dangerous out there tonight. So, again, 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. That's a nice little cherry on top.
Very good performance by Mr. Jake Ferguson.
CeeDee Lamb, by the way, also had a little blurb here to say as far as playing such a tight game, because obviously you see the score, 41-35. We were hoping for a bigger lead there, but we still got the job done. Win, yeah. And it was a close game for a good long while there. He said these are the types of games you want to be on the winning side, of course. It shows all the work that we put in and week out and battle each other and ultimately come out with victories. So, hey, that's the way to do it. And rolling on to the defensive side of things. Oh, yeah. Sorry, did you have a few more things to say about the offense first?
No. I just going to the defense, I just wanted to shout something out real quick when it comes to the PFF numbers and the analytics. This defense, we talked about the offense in such great detail. I don't think we'll talk about the defense as much. Well, you know my issues with the defense. They to me are breaking down way too often. The big players are coming up with big plays at the most important times, which is great. But we need to see the defense get more consistently dominant, which is something we showed in the beginning of the year. When you look at the 5 highest grade defensive players, Micah Parsons number 1, obviously, with a 92.1 grade. Great stuff from him. Osa Odigizua is number 2 with an 87.1. So you talk about 2 almost elite performances there. By Micah, of course, is in the elite performance area of this game. Osa right at the cusp of it. DeMarcus Lawrence was 3rd with a 79.6 grade, which is right at the excellent, top, very good areas right there. 4th was Jonathan Hankins, he's been a run-stopping savior for us, or a guy who takes on 2 blocks and lets the linebackers stop the run. And Malik Hooker, playing safety back there, number 28, he did his job. The 5th on this list when it comes to the highest graded players there. Now, you bring up whoever you want. I don't know who spoke on defense. I know the coaches spoke. I know that
the coaches spoke, but defensively it was really only Micah.
All right, well then when it comes to Micah, let me say a couple of things then before you get to Micah.
Of course.
Micah versus the Seahawks, 92.1 PFF grade. He had 7 quarterback pressures. And actually, let me do this. Let me put him up here so you guys can see him in full effect. He had 7 quarterback pressures and a 28.9% pass rush win rate. That's again once almost every 3 plays he's getting pressure on the quarterback. And he also had 3 quarterback hits, including what basically was the game winner. I just posted that in the shorts if you didn't see it. Parsons, by the way, this is the dominant. He was getting double and sometimes triple teamed. Still getting high pass rush win percentage there. The last 3 weeks for Micah Parsons combined, he has a 93.3 pass rush grade. That is number 1 amongst all edge rushers. 25 pressures. 28.8% pass rush win rate, which is number 1 in the NFL. And he also has 4 sacks and 4 quarterback hits. I mean, Mike has been extremely dominant. He registered 6 pass rush wins against Seattle that did not result in pressure. So I want to remind everybody, that's why when Geno Smith threw that ball very quickly, I mean, half a second quicker than he's done on average all year, it was a game plan to do that. So Micah couldn't affect. Micah still affected plays, but he just said he could have affected it 13 pressures. If it was the old Geno Smith situation, they were just getting the ball out quick. They were scared of Micah Parsons. Micah would have had easily over 10 pass rush pressures. And probably more than just, he would have had a couple of sacks as well, I think, Micah, if it wasn't for the Geno Smith getting the ball out faster deal. So look for teams to try to do that, try to beat our defense. I think it worked. I mean, we saw it happen against multiple teams there to us, and it's worked. So Cowboys, Dan Quinn, they got to get that shit together. Micah Parsons has been layering in more arm over moves right now, guys, and kind of getting the arm over the player, which, again, when he's rushing the passer in the last couple of weeks, he's been doing this. It's an effort to draw more penalties against his opponent. He's doing this arm stuff here, so you can see him actually visually. He might not get to the quarterback as fast, but you're seeing the guy hold faster. You're seeing the offensive lineman holding him. He's trying to draw more holds due to the rip provision for offensive holding. Remember, guys, when he goes under, what happens when he goes underneath with his arm? Remember that we talked about offensive line, the provision, the rules allows them to kind of rip and hold them down there. And it looks like a hold every time. We've talked about this last year. But Micah is working on another move now, an arm over move, which now limits. They can't pull that anymore against Micah. He might slow him down a little bit, but he's getting better and better at doing this. If he masters that, he will be getting more calls against him and still getting to the quarterback just as fast. That is a key there. Micah Parsons is now listed as the favorite. Remember, we had Deron Bland up there moving up. Micah is now the favorite, according to DK Sportsbook, to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's finally at the top of the list. Micah Parsons, 150 to 1 odds. Myles Garrett, 10 back, 160 to 1 odds. TJ Watt, 250 to 1 odds. And Deron Bland is 4th on the list with 1,400 to 1 odds. So Micah is currently in a slight lead over Myles Garrett and a little bit of an 100 point odd lead against TJ Watt. So there's still going to be a 3-way battle. It's not going to be Deron Bland. I don't believe so. But I do believe Micah is in the mix to make something happen and get that Defensive Player of the Year that he rightfully deserved and has deserved, honestly, for the last 2 years. So there's a little disrespect. This year, I think he may pull it out. We'll see what happens. But maybe, I know you said you had something about this, about Micah. But I know Jason Renfro has something to say here with that $2 J. Lou.
Woo.
Holler.
Thank you, Jason. You know what he said?
Hit me.
Time to take care of business this Sunday and win. Absolutely. Again,
very important.
If we cannot surpass that final kind of obstacle in our way, it's going to be extremely demoralizing for the Cowboys. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important, not just from a rankings perspective or postseason perspective, but just specifically, if this team wants to get to where they want to go, that's the type of adversity that, sharpens your steel.
Yeah.
If you want to, well, actually, I mean that literally in this case. Sharpen your steel, because
Terrence Steele.
Someone called it, I think it was Smodius who called him Terrence Aluminum. So, yeah, he's definitely more like a tinfoil hat. So,
the thing is, though, we can't just say it. They got to do it, right? Right, Jason? Mm-hmm. They got to take care of it. They got to do it. If they don't do it, we're back and regressing a step or two back to where we were, after the Charger win, which is still not great. It was like a little better, but not great. We don't want to go that way. If we go that way, then it's back to the usual same old.
I like
Cowboys.
what Seabass said. Take care of business, stand on business.
Damn right. We got to continue the confidence of winning, the confidence that we can win any game. That's something that the championship teams in the 90s had for the Cowboys. I haven't seen that really too often. The confidence, the consistency on offense, and the confidence. I hadn't seen that as much. The defense needs more confidence, in my opinion. But right now, that's what we do need, that combination of things. And I think it's at least looking like it. I don't want to say it is. I got to see it fully come together. But it seems like it's coming together in the right direction. By the way, with that Jason Renfro $2 drop, Mary Alvarez drops to 36 points on the stream boss. Just want to update
right.
you guys. And again, Jason is just a little bit closer now. I think he's. Let me see something here.
And by the way, Adam
he's a little
Hurley,
closer to another raffle entry.
No, all good. But shout out Adam Hurley. I know before the season even started, some people were saying it was going to be in a Cowboy-Dolphins Super Bowl. So you never know, right?
Still a long way away to that, though, for both teams.
So let me roll back here. Asmodeus said, Cowboys are humans. Humans have dominion of birds. Go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Definitely a bigger brain.
It's just the hierarchy. Right? So anyway, let's roll back to Mr. Micah Parsons.
He's ready.
And I know we just talked about Ferguson, and we just talked about Dak right before that, but Micah talked about Dak's post-touchdown celebration after that big touchdown to Ferguson. And then, of course, a 2-point conversion. You can't forget that.
That's right.
Apparently, afterwards, Dak came to the sideline and yelled, "Turn me the fuck up, motherfucker."
Woo!
In a very strong voice, I guess. Micah Parsons said, quote, "I'm like, damn, that shit made me blush a little bit. That's my quarterback right there." That's always exciting. That energy he brings, that fire, he's at a different pace. This is the type of quarterback that's going to win us the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that sounds like he's in love with Dak Prescott there. Micah Parsons, big props. Big props to big Dak Prescott. Daddy Dak.
And he deserves it. And Micah obviously does speak for himself very frequently. But he posted on Twitter after the game saying, "I really don't see no team play us the same. Watch any film or any game. It's sad, bruh."
You know what's funny? Every team is trying to maximize an ability to take advantage of the Cowboy defense. And and we can't get a read on other offenses because they're always trying something different to try to see if they can beat us. So, I understand what Mike is saying there, but still, bruh, you got to, you and the defense have to get in there. And that's really more than anything. I mean, Mike is doing his job. It's more than anything the rest of the players and Dan Quinn. So I love Dan Quinn. Well, we got to see Dan Quinn do a little bit better when it comes to adjusting and getting ready for these opposing offenses.
So, and like I said, Micah himself posted on Twitter after the game saying, "I really don't see no team play us the same."
You just said this, baby. You literally just said it.
Okay, no, just making sure.
I mean, all right.
So, by the way, Micah Parsons also said this as far as playing the Eagles next week, saying, quote, "It's just another game. They got to come see us now. I'm excited about every game, but I feel like it's us against the world, so let's do it."
It's about time Micah gets that feeling. I'm going to say this.
That us against the world, it really is. Keep that in mind, Cowboys. Nobody, pretend that nobody likes you and everybody hates you.
The point is that I don't know. Because I don't know. I'm going to challenge Micah. I'm challenging Micah Parsons. You know how?
Yeah.
Because he wants to be competitive. Let's challenge Micah. I love Micah, but we got to challenge him. You know why? Because this is the same guy that said the Niners, why did they take it so personal? Like, what, they took it personal? Sure. I want to see you take it fucking personal, Mike, against the Eagles, the Niners, and everybody you face. This isn't bullshit to say here, oh, it was personal against the Niners after the game is over and they whip your ass. So you have to show them. You have to say, hey, I hate you. I want to kill you. I want to destroy you. Don't be nice. Don't be cordial. Take it fucking personal. So do this to the Eagles this week, Micah.
Oh, yeah. So, again, just glad that Micah at least has that type of mentality, right? So, and that's pretty much it, at least from the players.
Yeah, what did Dan Quinn say?
We actually had, the quotes I have are McCarthy post-game quotes.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I had talked to him earlier, but my point is that we got to get to... we're talking on defense, so let's stick with the defense.
Well,
and try to get a little Dan Quinn.
I didn't get anything post-game from Dan Quinn.
I'm pretty sure they're... Okay, well, I'll get it then, baby. They 100% had Dan Quinnage going on.
Oh, the coaches spoke today, this Monday. That's what I have. But I only have one little quote from. That's not post game, my love.
I know, baby. I'm just putting it all together, baby. That's what I had discussed. But anyways, the point is, I don't know if you have that. You want to say that now about Dan Quinn, Daniel Quinn here, because he did say that referring to this game about the Deron Bland situation.
Yeah, so because obviously Bland has had 2 not-so-great games in a row. Again, if you actually go back to the stats and remove the picks that he had, very rough games.
Right, I have those numbers.
So, but, Quinn was asked this. He responded saying, quote, "If they do, they'd better be careful. So he even acknowledged the defense made some halftime adjustments. We had Stephon Gilmore traveling with Metcalf rather than just staying on one side, which, by the way, is actually a pretty big change for Dan Quinn, who traditionally would not move his corners, and he found other ways to adjust.
I also think
I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen our corners switch sides.
And so, well, you got to remember, also sometimes corners are not good at switching sides, too. It's not just his plan.
I agree.
But Gilmore gives you the versatility as a veteran that can do both sides. And that was something I think a lot of you guys in the chat were saying. I think I got some comments on that. Why are we using DaRon Bland against DK Metcalf? That Bland cannot stay with him.
A huge size mismatch, too.
Yeah,
not even...
Well, Gilmore's not much bigger. My point is that it was more about the fact that DK Metcalf was just had DaRon Bland's number, and Stephon Gilmore did a lot better. Second half, not a lot more DK Metcalf. It was still there, but not a lot more. So and remember, guys, what did I tell you all? Go back, watch the game, listen to halftime. Listen to what I said about Dan Quinn and adjustments. He didn't want to put Stephon Gilmore, right or wrong. It cost us a touchdown. But he did not want to show the Seattle offense the adjustments that we're making so then they could adjust at halftime. Dan Quinn always waits till after halftime to push the changes that he sees that they cannot adjust for, and that's what he did. When Gilmore switched off on him and traveled with DK Metcalf, it slowed down the Seattle offense and their effectiveness. That's just the way it is.
It's rare to see those types of adjustments pre-halftime. So...
Now, I will say this against Brady and the Bucs a couple years ago. You realize that we're getting sliced and diced, and then Dan Quinn changed it up in like the middle of the second quarter. The problem was we lost the game, but the problem was also the fact that we showed our hand too early. Mm-hmm. We had to. Dan Quinn had no choice. They were able to adjust
for our adjustment.
Yes, and then, exactly.
Well. Are they?
And they outlasted us. Now? Well, they outlasted us. They knew the adjustments. We didn't do much more, and then they tweaked their side of things. They knew kind of what we were coming with. The Cowboys on defense hold back any issues, and in the second half, listen, if we hold back our issues or we hold back our changes, and we're winning 20-0, and defense playing great, how much better are we going to look in the second half? It's going to be even bigger. But when we are having a game where we're down 21-20 at halftime, like this game. Mm-hmm. When do you pull the trigger on the adjustment? And Dan Quinn always tries to wait till halftime. Coming out of halftime in the third quarter, that's a Dan Quinn way. I like it, but I don't like that we have to sometimes blow it for the first two quarters till the defense gets back on track and slow starts. That's part of the reason why for that.
So that was it from Mr. Dan Quinn. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add defensively.
Oh, yeah, I do. Because you talked about DaRon Bland. And let me just be specific about DaRon Bland here.
I have a feeling that teams, like I said, I know Dan Quinn, it feels like Dan Quinn was trying to reassure us, but I have to admit, I'm not feeling all that reassured because I do feel like DaRon Bland has not so much been exposed as much as, and I kind of said this way at the beginning of the stream, 3 games, 11 days. Our defense was gassed. Our defense was tired. These guys were ready to throw in the cowboy towel and they just wanted a little bit of a break. So I'm just hoping that it was more of a wear and tear situation, that they were just feeling a little tired and feeling the weight of all those games back to back. So now we had some rest, recuperation. Hopefully everyone's looking and feeling better.
DaRon Bland has been doing great even without the picks up until a certain point this year. Let me explain. DaRon Bland has given up a passer rating against him of only 52.4 for the entire season. But against the Seattle Seahawks, he was when they attacked him, the quarterback rating was 114.6. That's horrible. That means they ate him up.
They wanted.
Yeah. And it doesn't even count the defensive pass interference. That was almost a third touchdown against them. Remember, they dropped it in the end zone? That would have made his numbers look worse. DaRon Bland, weeks 1 through 12. All right? That excludes the last one. He's given up 30 receptions for 341 yards, 1 touchdown allowed. He had 9 explosive receptions allowed, which is only 2.6%. A big explosive play happened against DaRon Bland. One of them against the Eagles. He gave up that touchdown to number 6, was it Devontae Smith. But DaRon Bland this week gave up, listen to this, 8 receptions for 169 yards in one game. Only allowed 1 touchdown the whole year before this. He allowed 2 in this game, and 4 explosive receptions allowed. It was It was almost 10% of the explosive plays were given up by DaRon Bland. While in the entire season he gave up 9 for 2.6. So DaRon Bland had a bad couple of weeks against the Commanders and Seattle, but also a horrific game against the Seattle Seahawks. Another interesting little piece of information. DaRon Bland came into this game against Seattle as the highest graded coverage cornerback in the NFL. But he was the worst at allowing separation on all routes. So if you remove the interceptions from the grading, like you said, he would be the 62nd best cornerback in coverage. 62nd. Good?
I mean, no.
Horrible.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. I couldn't remember the exact
No, I want to make sure we got
details of it, but, unfortunate. Thank goodness for the pick six situation, but yeah, that helps make up for it in some ways. But as you can see, 41-35 is not going to be the winning score every single time.
Can't
allow those types of mistakes and those big plays. But it also, now since you talked about this way at the beginning of the stream, the Seahawks are going to be facing off against Philly after Philly faces off against us on the Monday night game now. So, again, hopefully Seattle punches them in the mouth.
We'll see. But against the Seattle game, I do want to say a couple of things that the way that Seattle had planned to block DeMarcus Lawrence, number 90, on 4th and 1. That 4th and 1 play where we stopped them, they could not plan for his explosiveness. That wide lateral stride took DeMarcus Lawrence from the tight end, and he was able to shift. Again, he was outside the tight end. There's a shoulder. And he cross-faced the left tackle and went into the B gap. Completely disrupted the front side blocking with simply one step. So DeMarcus Lawrence, got to get props to him. Another guy you got to give props to, guys. Well, Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis, I mean, he did two great plays.
And we talked a lot of shit about him the last few
listen,
weeks.
he wasn't playing great.
Exactly.
But he played great in this game against Seattle. Guys, remember, on 2 consecutive third downs in the fourth quarter, different times, different drives, but 2 consecutive third downs in the fourth quarter, he helped save the Cowboys' day when we needed it most. He knocked the ball away on a short third down, and again, back-to-back third and shorts, and Jordan Lewis made big plays. He was as clutch as that third cornerback. He was clutch as that nickel corner. He said, quote, "I'm just fighting through adversity and doing what the coaches expect me to do." So you got to give it up to Mr. Jordan Lewis for having a fantastic rebound game, and hopefully we need him to continue doing this. One guy who's a little more disappointing, our first-round pick, Mozzie Smith, who's been kind of getting better and better every week, but this game against Seattle, maybe it's a matchup thing. He only played in 31 snaps. Only 31 snaps from Mozzie Smith. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Over the last 2 games, he went back-to-back, and, Thursday and Thursday, Commanders and Seattle. I mean, Hankins and others were getting more snaps. He got 31 snaps in 2 games. So you're looking, let's say, average 15 and a half snaps per game for our number 1 pick. I'm disappointed there. I think he may be hitting that first year, that rookie wall that you hear a lot of these rookies sometimes hit. So Mozzie Smith could be hitting that spot right now.
We've said it before. We're going to keep saying it again. What position does he play, my love?
Defensive tackle.
And how many defensive tackles do you know that come in their rookie season and start, kicking ass and taking all sorts of names?
Aaron Donald. That's it. I don't know. Not many others.
Is he Aaron Donald?
No.
Thank you.
No one really is.
And that's not even a knock on Mozzie in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Just saying that, remember, he's got a tough job. He has a lot to learn and a lot to do. And as long as he progressively continues to look better than he did the week before, I will easily take that for now. And, I'm pretty confident by this time next year, we're going to be in a much more comfortable position.
Yeah, Pioneer, he did play, but only had like 15, 16 snaps. Very limited snaps from Mozzie Smith the last 2 weeks. Last 2 games, I guess. So,
I see Jason Rumford said, Bland is fine on covering. It's just speed receivers he has trouble with.
Well, and if that's the case, and you might be right, Jason, I kind of see that. If that's the case, then, where is the switches, the adjustments by Dan Quinn? This game, you saw it after halftime. And things got better when you put Gilmore on DK Metcalf. So that's how we're solving some of that. But the Cowboys want to start off. It seems like the Cowboys on defense sometimes want to start off like with their more exposed defense. And in the second half, they ramp it up to what they can do the most, right? They do the best. So other teams cannot adjust as well. So I don't know. I'm getting conspiracies here, but it feels like that something. We know that DaRon Bland may have issue against DK Metcalf, so Quinn tries it, not working, holds it off to halftime, and then comes out of the third and switches it up, and then has Stephon Gilmore following Metcalf, slowing him down incredibly.
So Pioneer's asking, did Smith play this last?
I just answered.
Okay, so then Bland is fine on covering the speed receivers. We mentioned that. Pioneer said Jalen Carter. Smodius throwing out there. Bland was psychologically affected more than anything by all the fame. Just need to settle down and do what he's been doing. So maybe after setting that record, it just maybe it was a little bit overwhelming for him.
Yeah, after the Commanders, he definitely, but he was getting torched in that Commander game. Let's be honest, I've said this before. So I think it's more him just getting back on track than he sucks in coverage. I think he's been locked down in coverage since day one this year. Really, since day one when he came in the middle of the year last year as a rookie. So I have no fear in his coverage. But like Jason Renfro said, it's the matchups. That's Dan Quinn. Get him on the kind of receiver he has better job. His skill set shows out for coverage in there, right? That's the best thing you can do. I think that Dan Quinn needs to do this more throughout a full game rather than second half of a game.
So, anyway, back to you, my love.
Well, no, I know you're talking about some of the coaches here. You talked about, I know Schottenheimer had a couple things to say, and I know McCarthy, you have a couple things from him. But I think John Fossil actually might have said something too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have McCarthy. We'll
save McCarthy for last.
Dan Quinn. But yeah, even Fossil had a little something to say here. He said, obviously, remember guys, we came to the end of the game and we realized, wait a minute, I did not see a punt. So Fossil obviously said, he was asked, how do you feel about a game with no punts? He said it was horrible and wonderful at the same time. Obviously, as a special teams coach,
right,
having no punts is something
that's
else.
what you practice for all week, right? You punting,
but that
kicking.
Also means
we
be scoring.
We never messed up on that side.
So I understand that. Horrible and wonderful at the same time. I think that's a great way of putting it because,
Let's talk about the wonderful as far as kicking. Brandon Aubrey, guys, let's appreciate what he's done. I eat my words on him because, and I love, it's so tasty, isn't it, baby? We eat our words on Brandon Aubrey. I love it. I enjoy it.
I enjoy being wrong about these things.
I love it. When I criticize a Cowboy player or a situation, I love when I'm wrong because that means we're winning. That means we're doing something right. So
exactly. So tip the hat to you.
Yeah, let me give appreciation to Brandon Aubrey. You know what? Before the rest of the NFL played on Sunday, Aubrey had 114 points scored. That's number one in the NFL. Before Sunday's games, he was 100% in field goal attempts. Obviously, by far number one. Hasn't missed yet. 26 out of 26 on field goals, but he missed 3 extra points, which is crazy. 58-yard field goal attempt this year. That's tied for the 5th longest in the NFL this year. He's 5 for 5, by the way, on 50-plus field goals, which is usually a Maher thing, but man, he'll break Maher's record, or I think tie as a rookie, if he gets a 6th field goal made from 50 yards or farther. By the way, he's 5 for 5 in 50-yard or more attempts. That's tied for number one in the NFL. He has 76 touchbacks on kickoffs. I'm telling you, that is something that I've noticed since day one. His touchbacks seem to go back into the end zone. Baby, he's number one in the NFL. Okay. 76 touchbacks on kickoffs. I didn't realize that. It felt like he never made. He had a whole month. He didn't let a return come back not once on a kickoff.
And he never missed again.
Yeah. 3.7 kickoff return percentage. When they do return the kickoffs, they're only getting 3.7 yards on kickoffs. Guys, that's like an easy 10 yards every time. Only 3 points. You know what that is? That's also tied for number one in the NFL. So this special teams is doing great. A lot of that concern surrounding the kicker situation going into 2023, Aubrey has been, as Dak said, butter for Dallas. And it's made a huge impact on the way the season has gone in a lot of ways. I will say one last thing, though. Young guy kicking, all these accolades going his way. Playoffs come. No one gives a fuck about accolades. No one gives a fuck about how many consecutive kicks you've kicked. You got to make it this one or you're out of the playoffs. So Aubrey's still got to show that. In my opinion, he's doing as great. You can't do really a greater job than he's already done other than make those other 3 extra points. But in reality, I'm worried about the playoffs. I'm still worried, can he knock it through when the pressure's on? Because that's going to cost us the year. not cost us a record, which I don't give a fuck about. So you know what I mean? So yes, Aubrey gets his flowers, and he's doing a great job. He's got to be consistent. You got another second half of the year, if you include playoffs. And you got to continue doing this, Brandon Aubrey, and you cannot miss him when they count the most. So he's been solid. He's been butter. He's been great. So who else spoke, baby? I know you said that McCarthy had some comments to say here as we're wrapping it up tonight, guys.
Yeah, I wanted to hit this one comment in the chat real quick. Shout out, by the way. Sponsor of the week, Cash App King Snug X.
Snug.
What's up? He said, I don't think eating your words is the flex you think it is. I mean, other people obviously can feel however they want to feel, but I have no issue or problem being wrong because, like we said, if we're wrong about a player doing badly, that absolutely is a feather in my cap, at least. Because
I mean, Snug, it's not. See, here's the thing, Snug. You got to understand, Snug, that we don't. Or at least I know you don't either. I don't care if I'm wrong. It's not the flex is we're winning. That's all. That's the only flex I need. I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, Brandon Aubrey sucks," because I want to be right that Brandon Aubrey sucks. You guys feel me? I see some content creators, some idiot Cowboy fans out there saying, well, I want to say this because I was right, and look,
even
they
some
suck.
Cowboy fans, like they'd rather go down with the ship and
be wrong and be right.
Exactly, and be right.
Be haters
and watch our team do badly or have guys not perform the way that we.
So
want
for
them
me, when I say, well, Dak's gonna have a bad year, if I say that, and he has a great year, eat and eat some more. I want to eat my words. I love it. They're tasty. Put the extra sugar on it and some milk. I'm down to eat a whole bowl of it because that means we're doing good. So I don't care. It's not about me. Snug. It ain't about me. It's not about MCW when it comes to being right or wrong about the Cowboys. We talk about the facts. We give our opinions.
I guess.
We give our opinions. A lot of times they're right, and a lot of times they're wrong. When we're wrong, and if we're wrong, it's a good thing. We were going to hope for something good, and it didn't work out. I don't like to eat my words then. But if it's a good thing, if we're talking bad about a player, don't think he's going to be very good, and he ends up making us eat our words, it's the tastiest words you'll ever eat, Snug. Trust me. Eat some of these words with me. I know you got some words you got to eat too.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate that too, because again, no one is right 100% of the time. You gotta we agree and accept that. Admit the things that you're mistaken about, but usually, and especially I would say here in the MCF chat as well, if you know your team as well as everyone here knows our team, our Cowboys, like obviously we have our own thoughts and opinions, but yeah, we do know what's going on with the team. So I think we all have like a good pulse on what the Cowboys are trying to do. We got the
finger on the pulse on this team. I agree.
And that's the royal we, not like Mr. MCF.
Right. Yeah, we do. But my point I'm trying to say is that, like, is it an error? I see Pioneer saying that all the work we do overrides the errors. Like, the error to me is if I say a name wrong or a stat wrong. That's an error. When I say I have an opinion about Brandon Aubrey, a guy we don't know shit about, he's got to show me he can do it. That's not an error. That's a valid opinion. That's a valid, not even criticism. It's a fact. Because we don't know how he's going to do, and we're going to go with him over a proven guy. I had my reservations. But Will McClay, Stephen Jones, they shut me up. And I like being shut up when I make a criticism. Because that means it's a good thing that I was wrong about something. And you guys should be this. You guys should not want to be right about all your thoughts. Unless you're saying every game we should win and we should be winning 20 Super Bowls. I mean, that's delusional. But I'm just saying, when you look at the reality of it, you want to be wrong about those criticisms you think we need to improve on. Some people say, well, I don't like DeRon Bland. But when DeRon Bland does good, eat your fucking words and make sure you like it. Not because we want to make you look bad, because you want the Cowboys to win and look better.
But you know what cracks me up?
Right?
Because the whole Dak Prescott situation.
Yeah, changed a lot of shit talkers and Dak haters.
So many Cowboy haters. I did not hear a single one of them say, oh, I was wrong about... No. Every single one of them just shut up, and they're just all, Dak, go Dak. Like...
Yeah, or...
we see you, we know, we
remember.
Watching.
But the thing is, they don't even say, like I'm glad I was wrong. They say, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx Dak to be bad again. Mm-hmm. That's the stupidity we deal with a lot of Cowboy fans. I'm going to put this in quotes, Cowboy Nation. Or Cowboy content creators that just want to keep keep you happy, go lucky, and delusional. What? We don't fucking do that. We talk the truth, the shit, good, bad, or ugly, right or wrong. We like to talk it out. And hey, if we're saying something negative about the Cowboys that we truly believe and they prove us wrong, we don't do anything in every offseason. It's a failure. Well, we did a little bit better this offseason. There's some credit to be given there. That's all. I think that's fair. I think that's the kind of commentary I want to hear. Just as raw and it's real. That's what matters. And it's from the heart and passionate. Anyways, back to you, baby.
Well, like we said, Mike McCarthy had quite a bit to say post-game and today when he spoke earlier, so it's going to be a bit of mix of things, but he did have lots of love to give, guess who? Dak Prescott. Of course, guys. Again, he's playing some fantastic ball. McCarthy said, quote, "We want to attack, and you can only do that with a championship-caliber quarterback, and Dak is that guy." Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Dak is that guy.
So, and I know it's irrelevant now, but even McCarthy was kind of asked, like, hey, have you guys heard from Leonard or whatever? He was very neutral and just said, like, no updates. So,
well, we know what the update is. Yeah.
Now,
Leonard went to the Eagles, and will hopefully kick his team's ass. I don't think he'll play, but hopefully he'll kick his team's ass this Sunday night.
And we've heard this from McCarthy for the last few years as far as, like, playing strong, like, December, January football, right? And heading in, hey, December, it's here. Our first December game is against the Eagles. So McCarthy said, quote, "I feel very good at what we've accomplished the last 5-6 weeks." So yeah, you can't head into this final stretch of the season feeling any better about your team than you currently do right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we had to win.
And
we had to
nice
beat
and healthy too.
We had to beat the Giants. We had to crush the Giants, crush the Panthers, crush Washington. We did that. We had to escape and beat the Seattle Seahawks, a playoff type team. And we did those 4 things the last 4 weeks. That's what McCarthy's referring to. Now, the next 4 weeks, a lot tougher.
McCarthy also said this as far as obviously our next matchup, adding in their quote, "It's the Cowboys versus Eagles." I don't think you can say anything more about that. And as far as how big this game is, now that Philly has officially lost to the Niners, McCarthy said, "We just want to get this 10th win."
That's all. You got to keep stacking wins.
That's the focus there.
Stack the wins. Double-digit winning season if we win this game or any other game this year in the regular double-digit winning seasons, it'll be 3 years in a row.
So, and to finish up the final McCarthy comments, because I believe he said this earlier today. Oh, today's a Monday. You guys know what I mean there. Quote, "Dak's playing great ball. It's fun when you're in this rhythm. He's had such great command. It's just the connection with his teammates, on the field, on the line of scrimmage. We're getting in and out of things seamlessly. We're playing with a really good pace, and that's how we want to play. We want to attack, and you can only do it with a championship-caliber quarterback, and Dak is that guy." So I know I already read that final part of that comment, but the beginning part there definitely merited saying. So, and that is it, at least on my side, baby.
Yeah, we're all caught up 2 hours and 15 minutes in this thing on an ultra late night, back from vacation, back from a birthday weekend. Thank you guys for the nice words there on my birthday weekend. And now we're back to business again here, guys. Back to our normal business here. Took a day off from work here, coming back home from New York City. And you know how many people said, looked at us and said, "Go Cowboys" out there. It was
Mr.
great.
MCF actually was keeping track. Every time someone said it.
7 people at least. And maybe, and that was like in a span of like a day and a half. It's crazy. So, hey, they love. I talked to a couple of Niner fans. I said, "We'll be beating you guys in the playoffs." And they got a little shaken. So anyways, it was fun out there, guys. Thank you all for hanging in there and coming back to the channel here when we
late night style, extra late
night tonight. And Eagle game this Sunday night at halftime, baby. Why don't you let everybody know what's going on as we're getting out of here? Get your last thoughts in, your last drops of love, your last comments in. But what's going down this weekend, this Sunday night? Eagles at the Cowboys at halftime here in MCF.
Of course, guys, you already know. Thanks, Mr. DeLunatic, making this happen. Awesome. Eagles raffle, $10. Bam, you're automatically entered. The entries do stack, and membership has its perks because you get an extra bonus entry if you are an MCF member. And what are the 4 prizes being raffled off, baby?
Let me know.
4th place, guys. You got to rep your Cowboy car in style. This awesome little Cowboy car package with all sorts of things to spruce up your car and let everybody know what team you're repping, right? Of course, 3rd place, you have a customizable shirt, any name, any number, and that embroidered Micah Parsons signature hat. And in 1st and 2nd, respectively, an authentic, stitched-in jersey. And your choice of player, style, and size, as long as we got it, you got it.
Ooh, man, Cowboy Mosh bringing it. And so, 1st and 2nd place, a jersey each. For 1st, a jersey for 2nd. You got this package deal for 3rd, And, of course, this package for 4th. Much love to Cowboys Moms for the jerseys, but extra special love to the Lunatic for doing this here for the channel, for the family in the chat, and the memberships everywhere. Much love to the man, the godfather here at MCF, the Lunatic, for all Cowboy families out there. Much love to him. 4 prizes. You can win one of those 4 and up your chances by stacking the unlimited entries you can put up there. So, hey, can't wait to not just see who wins these 4 prizes. Can't wait on that same night to see how bad we kick the Philadelphia Eagles' asses. Tomorrow, those scores will be taken off and everything will be reset. We'll be back to our normal look on the screen as we're prepping for that Eagle team. And we'll start it tomorrow, getting deeper dives about these filthy Philadelphia Eagles.
And with that said, of course, guys, we have to shout out the people making MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. An extra special shout out to the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King. 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back, Mr. SnugX.
Yeah, sponsor of the week. You see him at the bottom of the screen there. Like our 90s Cowboys, back-to-back, like you said. And also back-to-back on the Cash App. Repping that crown. You know why he's here. But that's half of the board. Who's leading the other half of the board? It's like, it's two other parts.
When you have a king, you can't have a king without a queen, right? Mary Alvarez, much love. Stream bossing it around with 36 points. And also the membership queen.
Yes, she's the membership gifting queen, gifting memberships to a lot of our family here. I think she got 5 on it last week. Who's leading this week? On that board, it's Jason Renfro. He's got 7 on it already. He's got a couple days to go. That's just a double week, I guess, because we're smashing both weeks together. So good luck to everybody. Jason leads the way, but we got a lot of people like Skeptical Mary Alvarez and others that have gifted memberships as well. Who's the current leader? On the overall board, it's Jason Renfro again. He's coming for that sponsor of the week.
Jason.
He's trying to do a full takeover here, but there is the Cash App side, and it's not SnugX who's the leader, nor Jason Renfro. It is the man, Stanley Smith. Much love to him, repping that star of everything. He's currently, people are getting closer to him. He's still hanging on to first place on the Cash App crownage side of things. So we'll see what happens as the week continues. We're going to start off tomorrow, Tuesday, diving deep into these Eagles. And then we're going to break them down for you. Hopefully the way the Cowboys break them down on Sunday night. That's the hope. That's what we got to see. If we want to be a true, real team that can compete for that 6, not just to compete in a playoff game and then get bounced, to compete in a playoff run. Better yet, a Super Bowl run. Well, I want 6. You see it on my shirt. We rep the Dallas Cowboys. You see it on the wife's shirt. We rep that star over everything. You know how that goes. But if you want to be taken for real and you want to see the confidence of this team really elevate again, beat the fucking Eagles at home. Get 15 straight home games, home streak wins. And now we're tied with the Eagles if we get this game. And you never know what happens. You got 4 weeks left, and you just don't know what will happen. Just got to stay winning. And you got to stay repping that navy, blue, silver, and star over everything. Who's in the house tonight, baby, as we do our final shout-outs? I will do my final shout-out here for those that so far dropped the love. I guess there's a couple minutes left. But those that dropped the love this tonight, right now, Zach Luna and Jason Renfro, who gifted a membership. Again, earlier this week, of course, you had Skeptical with the thanks and Jason Renfro with the Cash App. So a lot of people dropping a lot of different ways, gifting memberships, jumping in the membership, re-upping your memberships, upgrading memberships, but also super chats, thanks buttons, gifting memberships, Cash Apps, PayPal, on and on, ... Appreciate everybody dropping the love here on My Cowboys Family. It's going to be a 2.5-hour live stream when it's over.
Let me go ahead and do the final shout-outs here as we wrap things up. Jason Renfro, huge shout-out to you. Yeah. Take it easy. Have a great night. Frank Moore saying the Brotherly Love team has the most approved this week. You know it. So we're in. What's up? Have a great night. Asmodeus, appreciate you. Pioneer, thanks for rocking with us. Of course, SnugX, always appreciate your company. We have Thurman Ritchie. I mean, he didn't really drop a comment, but thanks for being here. C. Bass, much love, who, by the way, said, how about in-game live adjustments? Again, halftime's the best you get.
See, I think, well,
anything more than that seems to, like you said, it means that we get figured out too quickly.
It's not, I don't think it's the fact that Dan Quinn doesn't know how to do it. We know Kellen Moore didn't know how to do it. But it's different. Dan Quinn knows what he's doing. He's waiting for those adjustments on purpose until the half. I'm sorry, until after the half, so then the other team cannot then go back to the drawing board And in game adjust. You can in game adjust, but it won't work as well when you pre-plan the adjustment before going on that field. So that's what Dan Quinn waits for halftime to do. Other teams, they got to kind of roll what we're doing. They think they got us, and then all of a sudden, boom, pulls the rug from out underneath you and changes it up and puts our best guys on their best guys and shuts it down. So that's hopefully what
Cowboy 92, much love to you as well. Adam Hurley, take it easy. We have Mike Aldana in the house. Rolling back a little bit more. Cactus G in the place to be. We have Jason B here as well. What's up? Scorpio representing.
Yeah.
Rolling back here. GM, what's up? Have a great night. We have House Nelson in the house saying we do our parts as fans. These motherfuckers better give us this victory Sunday night. Hey.
They speak on it. Let's let them show it. The team, the coaches, the front office, they speak a lot about this. Let's go out there, prove it, and do it. And then don't brag about it and keep moving. There's a lot more games to win.
Exactly. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett, have a great night. To everybody here chilling, hanging with us, thank you. And baby, why do we do what we do?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Through what, baby? Through what? We do this no matter what. We do this through what?
Through thick and thin? What?
You don't know my little... Okay.
No, sorry. I was going to say, I thought you were
gotta practice.
You usually kick it back to me. That's
I know,
what I said when you started saying it.
I
I was like, wait a minute.
I flip it back to you because, I say it every day. Even some of the family probably knows it. But good, bad, or ugly.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my brain completely
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, what do? We rep that star over everything. One day you'll get it, baby. One day. And then, of course, 6 years plus on YouTube. 7 seasons doing these live reactions through thick and thin, as you said earlier.
You can't put me on the spot like that.
Of course I can. It's the Cowboys. But no matter what, guys, here on this channel, never forget, on My Cowboys Family, number one thing here now and forever, as always, go Cowboys. And you see my shirt? Let's get that 6 and beyond, God damn it. All right, guys, thank you for dropping in, dropping the knowledge, dropping the love. We appreciate all of that. We'll be back tomorrow to break down and break the wings of these Eagles. We'll see you back for that, guys. Thank you for joining us. And baby, before we can drop out, clock out, as we got back in the house after a couple days on a little mini family, visiting family in New York and enjoying a little birthday. Guys, before we can officially drop out, let them know what we got to do here first.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beat's been dropped. 2.5 hours of just pure Dallas Cowboy content. You got like 4 days worth in one stream, and we got it all out. All the things we were talking about on our trip, our little family visit there out there with some New York family. We were all these things you hear us talking tonight. We were holding back to unload and unleash tonight. With you guys here on MCF. And again, those that are watching on the replay, hope you guys are tuning in, hitting that like, hitting subscribe, hitting that bell, but more importantly, leave your comments and your thoughts down below. And let's roll to another one. A victory at home, a victory got NFC East, and keep this confidence rolling going forward. Fuck Philly. Go Cowboys. And here, oh yeah, another Cowboys chat in the books. It's a wrap. Dak throwing it, a CD, making what a play that was. Micah, playing out of this world, even with the defense not playing so consistent. Micah's dominant. Micah's defensive player of the year leader right now as we chop the heads off of the Seahawks. But now, Thanksgiving is over, but Eagles giving is here. And hey, someone who kind of trolled us there, Darius Leonard, we'll see you again. You threw shade, Shaq threw shade. It's time to get pay back for those rotten ass motherfucking bitch bird Eagles. So right here on this channel, here on MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never ever forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. Much love to all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one as we break these Philly legs and wings. Hit that like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you back here tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Stay safe. And never, ever, 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 never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. on the beat.